A hot cross bun's seasonal?
Yeah, Easter only, isn't it?
How far away from Easter?
It's April, I think. Early April.
I tell you what it is
close.
with
Hot cross buns and Cadbury's cream eggs.
with hot cross buns, or any toast actually, tastes way better when someone makes it for you.
It does, yeah.
Just someone putting the butter on.
Yeah. That's why I always get someone to make it for me.
Well, you made me my last one, so I've got to return the favour. But yeah. Oh. Oh, these are good. These are very good.
Get a load of layer pack on it.
You know, the other one, I actually took a bite before I put it in the toaster.
Yeah, I know, that's why I gave you that one. I could see the bite mark in it.
But you know what it is? Perfect example of eyes being big in your belly. A hot cross bunish, it looks like it's going to be nice, but if you don't toast them, they're fucking disgusting.
No, it's just bread, isn't it?
Nah, it's not, mate.
Bread, it's bread with raisins on it.
Nah, that's what I thought it would be, but it's like hard. I felt like I was eating something.
Oh no, yeah, they are hard.
I thought I was something eating from like medieval times.
Yeah, they're a bit. Even when they're in date, they're hard.
Oh. Anyway. You go, mate.
Thank you, pal.
Crossbone.
Oh. Fucking bless you.
Cup of tea.
I need to watch out with this sofa, man.
God, this is swimming in butter.
Yeah.
Me. Oh, that's good, that.
Did you see that video I sent you?
No.
The guy with the strimmer. The guy off that Scottish social page. Funny as fuck.
There's my fat uncle. That's it. Bacon. And you waved. Right, bacon. Second gear. Keep it. Up to the bite. Up to the right, we clear? Here we go. That's it. Was he here, aye? He's here. Oh, fuck off. See if I go back the way. I'm punching Peter's cunt in. It was me and Strimmer. He stole my dad's strimmer. He wouldn't give my dad back. It says to me, better get my dad's strimmer out. You old prick. He's gonna have his nut in that. Peter Andrews, he has his had it for fucking months. A year? Better get it back, eh? I've already got it fucking back.
Oh, it's driving lesson.
See him again. Peter Andrews. Give him the benefit of the doubt, you know what I mean? Yeah. End of the day, that fuck, you're fine, just keep it going, more gas.
Tell you what, yeah, fucking Scottish accent is my favourite.
If that were English, it wouldn't be as funny.
Nah, the Scottish people are just the funniest.
It's the way that they fucking deliver it.
Right then. Right then, mate, 5 years.
5 years, my brother. 5 very long years.
Yeah. Feels like a lifetime.
It does.
But anyway, so I was thinking about, because it wasn't until I spoke to, it was about a month ago, I was with Clint, and Clint was like, how long have you been doing it for? He was like, because it's Clint's 50th anniversary this month as well.
Is it?
Or 4 year, 4 year, 5 year, but it's this month.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, what are you doing for it? And I was like, to be honest with you, I didn't really think about it, which is just classic us, where we're like, just cracking along and doing everything, and then you kind of forget about these milestones.
Yeah.
Because there's just
You
like...
forget about everything major. Do you know what I mean?
it's like...
fucking mad.
You forget about... It's just all... Phew.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, no, I haven't really got anything planned. And then I got me thinking, I was like, for me, it's a bit of a big deal, 5 years. Because it's one of those numbers where, you know, it's a big milestone to get to 5 years.
Yeah.
It's a big milestone to, you know, still still be there, never mind, doing well and whatever. And I was just thinking, like, people always chat to us and ask us to on podcasts. Obviously, we don't do them. And the success that we had with the Still Here documentary, where it was, a kind of a point of view angle of like just kind of day to day what me and get up to. And obviously everyone was like, fuck me, you showed everything. And we still didn't show everything. And there was so much missing from just like personally who we are, our characters, how we are with each other, the things that go on in our personal life. I think it's all very interesting to, some of our, amazing like customers and followers and community. And I just thought, what it is.
I think so too. And it's like, it's hard to capture that.
Yeah.
In a real life moment.
It is.
Do you know what I mean? 'Cause as soon as you start filming it in documentary style, you act up for the camera a bit because it's there. It's just hard to capture those moments that like.
Well, I remember when we started filming, and I just walked out.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not doing this.
Which time?
Every morning. But it was like, you're going to do this, and I was like, no. And then like, it's so funny because I'd disappear and come back, and they'd have you set up doing a thing, and you'd be like stiff, and I'd be like,
because I didn't dare say no.
Yeah. Everybody was like me. It was like a dad walking in and his son, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, get off my son. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm stood there like that thinking, oh, he's going to hate this, but I dare to say no. Just in case you told them to do it. I didn't want to say anything.
So it was like, and I watched, and podcasts are can be very intimate. They're very, what's the word? What is the word I'm looking for? Candid.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't, but a lot of the good ones are. And I thought, we don't do podcasts. Let's have a conversation. Let's like talk about things that no one knows about, that a lot of people might not even give a fuck about, but equally we do.
Yeah.
And really, that's what the 5 years is about. Me and you.
Yeah.
So I just thought, let's have a conversation and let's go through, everything from the beginning, the good, the bad, the fun, the stuff that we can't go into detail on. You know what I mean? But the many, many situations we've been in, which, I don't know, you'd think like selling t-shirts and hoodies wouldn't really take you on such an adventure. But, I think the reason why 5 years feels so long, even though it hasn't been, it's
Mate, I mean, where do we even start? How often do I sit and say to you, like, our life is a fucking cartoon? It's all the time, isn't it? It actually is.
Yeah.
Like, some of the shit that we end up in, I'm like, how the fuck have we done this? It
Yeah.
does not make sense.
Good or bad.
Good or bad. Didn't sign up for this. Didn't see it coming. Do you know what I mean? It's mad, mate.
So we'll go back to the start. The start, 2017. I don't know who you are.
No.
You don't know who I am.
Well, you do know who I was. A weirdo. before Thomas.
Forget, right, even before that.
Even before that.
So let's go to like, you've just moved to London in
I've just
2017,
moved to
obviously.
London,
Like,
yeah.
what's the crack? What's going on?
I just moved to London. It was kind of a move to put pressure on myself because I was just living too easy at home. Working for my dad, not paying rent or board or buying food, coming home every day, cash in my back pocket.
I know a few people who live like that now.
Yeah, I know. I know quite a few of them and all. But yeah, and it was just too easy. Obviously the brand existed, not as it does today, but it existed. The brand called Buxton was a thing. And it was literally, I'd finish uni, move back home with my mum and dad in Derby. Started the brand with kind of the money that I was getting off my dad.
Yeah.
Cash in hand, labouring, literally. And it was work for him in the day, come home at night and work on Call Buxton.
Yeah.
Whatever that was at the time. It was just, if it were thinking about it, I made a website, Squarespace, bought callbuxton.com, all these little things that I were doing to be like, I hadn't really got any money. I haven't got any money for a production.
Yeah.
But what can I do to like just get things moving. And funnily enough, probably a lot of things, like one thing that no one knows is it weren't called Cole Buxton
No,
at the start.
wasn't. It was called something else, which I can't wait for everyone to find out in about 10 seconds. But
I can't even say because it's like...
try and say it with a straight face.
It was called CB Company. Not CP Company.
Not like the huge Italian menswear label. Had you not heard of that back then?
Oh, no, I'd never heard of it, mate. Small brand. No one knows it. No one
I know
knows
Stone
it.
Island, but I know CP Company.
But yeah, it was called CB Company, and the reason was I wanted to have...
What was the reason?
The reason is because I wanted the word company on it, basically.
Right, okay.
Because I just wanted it to be this brand and not just me as a person. And I had all the backpacks made. So I started with the production of backpacks. That was literally the very first thing. And that stemmed from me selling them in uni. Because I could make them myself. They don't have to I don't have to work out size, grading and everything because they fit everybody. And they were pretty easy to do. And they were really in at the time. Backpacks were like a thing that people cared about with like Herschel.
No, I remember that time.
Do you remember?
I had a Herschel backpack. Everyone did. Like, it was funny because in school, from where we're from, backpacks were like, it was like, remember those like Fred Perry, you know, remember them?
Melrose.
Yeah.
Walking with it that low that it's like bouncing off your arse. That was the look.
Well, ours was the opposite, tight as fuck. Me and Dom, you fucking had to put Vaseline on your fucking just to get it off. And you had it right up there like this.
That was not our swag at all,
I had a
man.
grey one, and Dom,
You would have
Dom
got
had,
slapped
I think
if
Dom
you
had a
had that.
maroon one. And that was it, like fucking so tight.
Nah, man.
Nah, if you had it down your arse, you were a fucking goth or a sweaty.
Nah.
Yeah, 100%.
You were a proper... Yeah,
$1,000,000%.
to fit in, you had to have your tie with a knot about this big.
You were a goth.
Nah.
Mate, if you were in Sunderland, with a tie like that, and
No
that
way.
combination, girls had the ties like that, like chavvy girls.
Did as well,
But we went opposite end, skinny, skinny tie, so the other end,
And razor light.
Exactly, Razor Light, fucking, what a band.
No way.
Yeah, me and Dom were Razor Light idols.
But I remember thinking like, oh, I wish I could just wear my tie properly because I don't like it with the big knot and the little thing.
Mate.
And I was like, I'm going to get fucking pissed out.
That was us in year 7, and then which I guess aligns maybe with your year, because obviously you're a bit older than me.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I just remember them Fred Perry's just like tight as fuck, and it was sick. We used to didn't used to wearing our blazer. Wear a maroon blazer, it was disgusting. So you'd leave your blazer at home and just wear a coat, and then you'd get told off and sent home and blah blah blah.
See, we didn't have a blazer.
Oh, we had blazers.
It was a tie with a shirt.
Well, you had it easy.
With a crew neck over the top.
You had it easy. My blazer had shoulder pads, youth.
See, back in the day, I would have loved that.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, but I wouldn't have dared say it. Do you know what I mean? I would have been like, oh yeah, proper jacket.
I got me school. You thinking how do I be different? Just get me pants taken in, and honestly, looking back, my mum's friend used to take them in, and she's just like my mum. Says she can do something when she can't.
Yeah.
Don't
worry,
she had a sewing machine in the house,
I can sort that.
And mate, she knowing what I do now, with the clothes and that, it's like, mate, I just remember she took them in from there, like a hard, just like a stitch down there on the side, and just took a taper, but it was tapered from there, so it was
with loads of baggy fabric hanging out.
Yeah, so it was like baggy there, and then just skinny there, and to the point where they were so skinny I couldn't get my foot through properly. It was
So what were you trying to achieve? Just look different.
Mate, you know what it is? Until I met you, I've tried to achieve many different things, in a fashion sense. I laugh when people think of me as being some cool kid now, because for 24 years of my life, I don't know what I was playing at.
Yeah.
I've tried everything. I've tried it all.
But aren't they the coolest ones though?
I don't know.
The coolest ones are not the ones that walk around and go, fucking no, I'm sick. They're the ones that are just having a go at loads of stuff.
Nah,
Nah,
you're
they
getting
are.
it mixed up. You're thinking I was that guy, but I wasn't. I was just I remember one day, my mum, bless her, my mum and dad obviously divorced, bad divorce, blah, blah, blah. My mum used to, my mum used to get blank checks off my dad and then just go spend loads of money on me and my brother in this store in Sunderland,
designer kids wear.
It was designer, Dolce & Gabbana, Replay, blah, Diesel, back when that was got class. mate, I had like 100 quid pairs of jeans as a kid and that, yeah. And I remember I used to just hide it in my house because I hated it all for some reason. I got her an age, yeah. I think it was in like year 5, year 6. I just hated it all. I had all this designer gear, but it made I was like, that is so uncool. I remember the feeling. I was like, oh, I just look like a dick.
Yeah.
So I was obsessed with being like a mega chav. I remember one time I'm walking up the street, yeah.
That fucking explains a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
It does.
I was a mega chav from like, that was so, like big trackies tucked in. I had, these trackies were like just some shit brand as well, like High Tech or something, like weren't even like Nike or anything. White socks tucked in.
Fucking High Tech.
Mate, it was hilarious. They were my favourite trackies.
There's no way you're walking around in High Tech.
My
no
favourite
chance,
trackies were High Tech, I promise you. Tucked in, cap, big tracksuit top. I remember it was summer holidays, so it must have been like 20 degrees or something, yeah?
Yeah.
Walking up the street like this. And my mum said she saw this kid walking up the street. And she's thinking, fuck me, he looks hot.
Yeah.
You know what my mum's like? Oh, fucking make me look, make me feel hot.
How's you, though?
I know. So like, well, at this point, it's not me. She just think, who the fuck's that? Who is that? Like, he looks homeless. Gets closer and closer, she goes, and her mouth's just dropping. She's like,
fuming.
Oh God, what the fuck are you wearing? And like, but that was what I wanted to do. And like, I had all this designer gear, and it's funny, like my mum would be absolutely skint, yeah, and spend like a last penny on me and Harvey, like on like just stupid shit. It was like, and she still would to this day if she had to. Like, it was so funny, and yeah, like so I was just like a mega chav, like that's what I always wanted to be.
Yeah.
Like I felt at home.
Well, you've achieved it, to be honest.
Yes.
You've achieved it.
No, it was yeah, I think I've thingied. But obviously going back to where you were, it's not as poetic and romantic as I went to uni, started the brand out my bedroom, and then I just woke up and I moved to London. There was something what happened, a crossroads that, you know, I recall that no one will know about, where you were thinking, I might not move to London, I might move somewhere else and do something else. Something to do with fishing or something, or a lake or something.
All right, yeah. Fucking, I will give someone 100 quid if they know this, if they're not my friend. I'll send it to them. Yeah, so I had a very, it was when we was in, what year did you do work experience? Is it year 11?
Year 11, I think, yeah.
It is,
or year 10 or year 11.
Yeah, no, it is year 11, it is. And I had a moment.
Or year 9? I think I done mine in year 9.
It might be year 9.
I did mine in year 9.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, whether it were year 9 or year 11, what did I love doing at the time? I fucking loved fishing. The clothing thing was kind of, I loved design ever since I was like 1 year old, but I never thought like, oh, at that time, I'm going to go and start a brand. It was never on my thing. Where I'm from, you don't go and do that. You fucking are an apprentice, or you're a bricklayer, or you go and work at Rolls Royce or whatever. So the fishing thing, I was like, oh, I wonder if I can work in fishing. How do you make money in fishing?
You can't.
You basically can't. You basically cannot. But there's this college called Sparsholt College, yeah, that's just outside London. It's an agricultural college. So you go there, you can do...
Sounds mint.
Yeah. You'd fucking go. You can do like farming, like animal breeding, or like everything agricultural, but they had a fish farming course. Right. And the lecturer on that course, I can't even look you in the eye when I say this. The lecturer on that course, who was like running it, who set it up, was like a big name in carp fishing.
Right.
So I was like, fucking hell, he's going to be... Fucking hell, that is unbelievable. Anyway, so I had a few months where I was like, that's what I'm going to do. Because they do sell for a bit of money, but you ain't making actual money out of it. It's literally a way to work in fishing, do you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to apply. I'm going to go and be a carp farmer. Told my mum and dad, and they were like, I mean, bless them, they would never tell me you ain't doing that, but they must have been thinking, have a day off.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't
You're ruining
doing
the bloodline,
that. Yeah. At one point, you wanted to be an architect, right? 'Cause when I was dead young, that's what I wanted to be for some reason. And now you're going to be a fucking carp farmer. Like, no chance. Anyway, turns out I missed the application. And that was the end of it.
Right.
That was the end of it. I never thought of it again. I'd missed my deadline to apply to go to this college. and I ended up going to Chesterfield College, which is like a good art college, and they basically, I went there and they were like, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't really know. I like art and design, so I just did an art and design course, and that's where you get to do like have a go at everything: photography, fine art, ceramics, product design, all of that stuff, and that's kind of what kicked off the.
It's funny how like you can end up, you know, like doing something because you know just the universe closed its doors on something and kind of almost pushed you somewhere to a place.
It's crazy.
What's that alarm for?
What time is it?
I don't know.
20 to 5. I have.
It's a strange alarm to have at 20 to 5 on
But
a
you always
Saturday.
have random alarms going off during the day.
Because what happens is, because me fucking crazy mind and all these amazing things were happening in it, I forget just as many. And so I'll do something and I'm like, John, driving or something, and then I'll go and I'll set a reminder to remind me about what I thought about. And it always works.
Right.
So I don't like write anything or anything. I'll be like driving or something and I'll just go like, hey Siri, set my alarm for like da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then...
And say what? Remind me to do this?
No. Because the reminders thing just gets lost. The alarm, boom.
Yeah, but...
I miss reminders.
Yeah, but do you not have something that pops up on your phone with that alarm to say?
No, because I'll be like driving, so like, or I'll be doing something. And
so
it
that
just
alarm
works.
is to jog your memory of something that you thought about earlier that you need to do?
Yeah, an idea or a decision or an action.
I mean...
It works every time. But that's that must have been like a phone thing because there's nothing like today that I need to...
I haven't got a clue. It's probably do interview.
20 to 5, that's a
Don't
weird
know,
one. I wouldn't even set an alarm for 20 to 5. That's a weird time, that. Like, what's happening at 20 to 5 in the world?
Yeah.
Have you ever had an arrangement at 20 to 5?
Well, you don't set an alarm ever at 22 anything.
No.
You set an alarm at...
I've
like,
got
on the hour, 10
that
past.
time doesn't exist. Quarter past, half past, quarter to on the hour.
Yeah.
Everything else actually doesn't exist.
I will not get out of bed if it's like 8:14.
No.
I'll be like 8:20.
Yeah.
It's got to be like, it can't be like a 14 or a fucking 7. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you just said 8:20. I would never get out of bed at 8:20.
No, because it's like the next big number, innit?
Nah,
Above.
8:15.
No, because that's only, then you're only getting 1 minute.
But if you're in bed at 8:15, you're a bit of a waste man.
That is very
It's
true.
very late to be getting out of bed at 8:15.
But I did go to bed at probably 4 or 3 a.m.
I know, but like, that's
It's
no
all
one's
about,
fault but
you
your
know,
own.
if we're going to David Goggins it and talk about lack of sleep, it's all about when you go to bed.
Mate,
and when you
Goggins
wake
ain't
up.
getting up at 8:15, you.
He is if he goes to bed at 4 a.m.
Is he fucked?
Yes, he is.
He'll be up at 4:15.
No,
He goes
I'm
to bed
not
at 4 a.m.
having
He'll go at 4:15.
I'm not having it.
But anyway, digressing. Where were we at? So obviously, like, the fishing thing didn't materialise.
The fishing thing did not materialise.
Thank God, obviously.
Yeah, thank God, because it was kind of, I would have probably did it for 2 years, and then, I mean, who knows where that would have ended up leading, you know.
Well, I wouldn't have met
certainly
you.
not. No,
because I've
you
got
wouldn't
no
have met.
interest in carp fishing.
And I certainly wouldn't have lived in London.
No.
I wouldn't have gone to uni. Do you know what I mean? It was like, and I kind of actually ended up at uni only because my mum and dad wanted me to go to uni.
I never had like that. Like I guess like for me, growing up was like weird because I was just kind of like, my mum's always been so busy with her job. Not that she's some like high level like, but her job is just very intense.
Oh yeah, she works every hour of the day. You know, she's a grafter.
Yeah, like and like so I always felt like I was just like left to figure it out. Like, and like no matter what I've done, my mum has been so proud and so just so supportive. But like, because my mum never had an educational route, and like obviously my dad not being around for like those years, like he was as a kid, but like for those years I'm talking about, not really around. So it's like I just always felt like I'd just go and work it out. But that feeling to just go and try everything was like probably is what ended up getting me, and still exists today, and it's got me to where I am today, because it was like
100%.
go and find. You've got to go find it. That's how I felt. And it's only now that I'm like older and I can think a bit more philosophically that it's like, that was all it was for me. Like I was never given a, I remember one thing, I had a work experience with my uncle. My uncle's like a super high achieving biological scientist, won awards.
Yeah.
He's like fucking in some book, the fellow of the Royal Society. So amazing. To any person who wanted to get into science, what family lineage gets better than that? Unbelievable. I remember going, not knowing what I want to do in school or anything like that, not even touched anything as any interest. All I had interest in is being the guy.
Yeah.
Like really, like,
no, I get it.
like
I get
in school, I was just like, I just wanted to be the guy.
I get it.
I remember doing work experience. I was sitting there and I was like, it was Newcastle Uni. It's an unbelievable position to be able to go and do work experience in year 9 in a lab and all that. Amazing. Couldn't give a fuck. I remember being that. Could not give a fuck. I remember I was injecting like rabbit cells with cancer or something. And I remember my uncle asking, how did you do it today? And I'd be like, I couldn't remember anything. Because I just realised that like, right, I kind of got into the fucking, the system of, you know, of that. It's just not going to work.
No.
But then I didn't go, I want to do this. I knew I didn't want to do that. So I was kind of like lost for a long time. Just lost for a while. And it was like, I just never had someone to be like, there was nothing, very small family, and there was nothing like there where I was like, oh, my uncle does this, or blah, blah, blah. I had like one uncle who'd done something.
Yeah.
Don't really have a relationship with my dad's side at this point or anything like that. I just didn't really, there was nothing there. I think family's like so important for that. I mean, I'm like, the way I look at things now is like, you know, I'm at the start of my family kind of lineage almost to, I want my kids to look at me and be like there and have me there and be able to take from that, like whether it's a natural thing or whatever. But like you're thick in the middle of like what is like, I don't know if you can get a better natural fucking family lineage of just such like magic in the stuff what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Like so direct from both sides, which is also like mental. Obviously, like you never talk about it really when we do these interviews and stuff. It's something that I didn't know, obviously, until I met you and spent some time with you. And still, you don't really talk about it much because of like, you know, stuff what's happened, you know, with family and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But like, the more we've progressed in our business, like, the more you felt comfortable to talk about it. And obviously, it's something you're really proud of, all of your family. Like, and you're always telling me these crazy stories where I'm just like, I get so envious. I'm like, I can't even put it into words. I'm like, that is mental. And then you've got like 2 granddaughters who've done like, and then you've got an uncle and I'm like, fucking hell. I want you to talk about, you know, Uncle Kenneth, Monty, but more importantly, your uncle. Because I think your uncle really, other than, I think from what I understand, your granddaughters, obviously, fortunately, you know, Kenneth died, you know, before he could really have a, you know, have an effect on, you know, your journey. And Monty's obviously so old now, but directly your uncle, you know, who...
I mean, directly my uncle, but to be honest, it started, the fire was, or the spark was kind of created through my grandpa, through Kenneth.
Through Kenneth.
Because when I was like...
So talk to me about Kenneth, because no one knows about Kenneth.
So he you know,
Kenneth's your mum's dad.
It's my mum's dad, God rest his soul. He was one of the most interesting characters you could ever hope to meet. Mental. Turns out he was, for his like weight category, he was like some powerlifting champion, bodybuilder. I've got photos of him like pure little pants on, doing the bodybuilding poses, honestly, with like the Elvis hair, black and white. He was an artist, he was a cubist, he was an engineer that worked on some mental, iconic pieces of engineering.
Yeah, like what?
Like, he worked on the very first radium handling facility for radiotherapy, I believe.
Wow.
Mental. Unheard of, no one's heard of him.
Yeah.
It was part of the team that did it.
Well, naturally, these big things that happen, it's not one person usually gets the flowers, but like, we know that when we make clothes and bring them out, there's fucking a whole network of, you know, wonderful people behind that.
Yeah, yeah. He also, when he was younger, before, or while he was at engineering school, he was working in a tailor's, and I can't remember the name. They're all over. It's a chain. They still exist. I was trying to think of it the other day, and it's not Moss Bros, but it's like something like that where there's got a few of them around.
Well, you've got to ring your mum and find out.
I will.
Because you can't have an interview and you forget such a pivotal moment.
I canna. Right, let me. But she is on holiday, but she will
I couldn't
answer.
give a fuck. You got to ring Kenneth then.
I fucking will. She's not going to remember.
Well, yeah, that's where you must get it from then.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. 100%.
Maybe you should try and
I've got to get
bring
it from
along.
somewhere, haven't I?
Put on loudspeaker.
Hello?
Hello, darling.
You okay?
Yeah.
You're on. You're on. Oh, you're at the beach. You're on loudspeaker. We're just doing an interview.
Okay.
I cannot remember. You know, Grandpa.
Yes.
What was the name of the tailors that he used to work at, where he met Ken Williams?
When my dad met Ken, was it Turnbull and Astor?
No. Before that, there was one that he worked at.
Austin Reed.
Austin Reed.
Yeah.
You are dismissed.
Yeah.
You are dismissed. Thank you for answering, because you've just saved the interview.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Is it hot?
£1 million.
Yeah, you've won £1 million. I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
I'll send it to you right now. But
It's been long. It's very windy.
yeah.
But it's been blue sky. Well, the wind's been really bad on beach day, but you shelter. It's been fab. And can you remember when? I know I'm on speaker, but can you remember when you went with your dad when you were little in Judge Ventura and all the little chipmunks come down?
Yeah, feeding them the peanuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they've been doing today.
Yeah,
They're
I remember
nice.
it with the lizards and that. Yeah, up the mountain.
Yeah, well, I don't like the lizards, but can you speak or can you take that speaker?
No, you got to be on speaker because this is on the film. This is on the filming. You are. Your voice is.
Oh, God. Okay. All right,
Well,
then.
Johnny's mum's on the documentary and she ain't kicking off about it.
No, I'm just saying, when you hear your voice, you think, oh, God.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
How are things, okay?
I'm good, Mum. I'm good. But
Okay.
I'll grow. I'll crack on. I've got to go. Love you lots.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Love you, bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, so it was Austin Reed. So there, he met one of his best friends, who led to be his best friend.
Yeah.
A guy called Ken Williams.
Yeah.
So it was Ken and Ken. And as years went on, my grandpa just did a short stint there. He was just working there as a side job, basically. He went on to do engineering. Ken Williams, on the other hand, stayed there at Austin Reed. And I believe the roadmap was, he worked there for a long time, worked his way up, ended up buying Austin Reed as a company. And then years later, he sold Austin Reed and he bought Turnbull and Asser, which is an iconic British shirt maker. James Bond, royal family. The shirts are that good that when they get old, you don't throw them away. You take them back and get a new collar put on them and new cuffs and stuff like that. They're like proper investment pieces. Which is mental, because he nearly got knighted.
Yeah.
Very nearly.
Your granddad.
Both
of them.
Ken Williams did.
Yeah,
Nearly got knighted for Turnbull and Asser
as
a service to the British, whatever you get knighted for, I don't know. But he didn't, because he sold it to Al Fayed.
Yeah.
Harrods, which kind of...
So where's your granddad when...
My granddad...
Turnbull and Asser?
No, my granddad never went to Turnbull and Asser.
Right.
He went to engineering school.
Right, okay.
Did
So
all that.
He didn't like the garm industry.
He didn't like
the rag
it.
trade.
Always a sharp dresser,
but
didn't want to work in it. Engineering was his thing. That's the way that his mind was. He was an engineer. Tailoring's quite like that. It's like engineering.
No, it's
Do you know
exactly
what I mean?
like that.
It's all maths. It's all
maths.
Straight lines and angles and whatnot. And he ended up moving to Canada. So my mum and my uncle were born in Chester, which is where they were, where my grandpa and my grandma's from. Then they moved to Canada when my mum was like a few months old and my uncle was 2 or something. went to work for Canada Metal, and yeah, and kind of, yeah. What else do I need to say? I'm trying to think, make sure I don't miss anything out.
You're saying that the spark came from him.
The spark came from him because when I was like 2 years old.
Yeah.
How old are you when you can start drawing?
I mean, I didn't attempt to draw till I was
You were 10.
12 or
You were 10.
As you can
I was
tell by
about
my
10
writing.
weeks. But I remember sitting down with him and like drawing like logos of Derby County, Manchester United. Everything I was interested in, he would like sit and draw with me, and he would draw out almost like paint by numbers paintings for me to fill in, stuff like that, and it just gave me such a love for it. And he was so good at it, and he was so talented that like I did it with him for years and years. And then as I got into skateboarding when I was a bit older, because that's kind of when I first started paying attention to how I was dressing, skateboarding basically. That was the first time when I was like, right, this is my look. Do you know what I mean? Before that, you kind of just dressing. I was into football, not interested in clothes. I was interested in.
So you weren't wearing any tracksuits tucked in socks or anything like that?
I weren't wearing tracksuits tucked into socks. I was wearing
any replay jeans in your hair, hidden in under your bed?
No replay jeans. I was probably wearing. I don't even know what I was wearing at that age, but I started skateboarding when I was like, when I was in like year 7, I think, and that's when I first was like, oh, there's these brands that people are wearing, and if I'm going to the skate park, I've got to be wearing these brands, because that was the worst thing for me. I wanted to. Or like the big thing for me was I wanted to look the part.
Yeah.
I've always been like that. If I'm doing something, same with the football. When I was playing football, I wanted the Beckham boots, wanted the headband, I wanted the gloves on.
You're preaching to the choir here on.
Yeah.
You know, looking the part.
Yeah.
Not having the goods to back most of it up. But if you look good,
mate, it's the biggest thing.
Do you know what I mean?
It's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like. Yeah, skateboarding had that. It had a look. It had all these brands that no one else in Derby were wearing. Do you know what I mean? All these American brands. I remember going out to Canada to see my family, and then like suddenly having access to all this stuff that you couldn't get here. Remember New Era caps? Remember going out there and just they were in every Foot Locker. They were in every shopping mall. They were everywhere.
Yeah.
In Derby, you had to go to this market stall, right, called Nellyville, right? Honestly. From this geezer that was importing them from America, probably clearly all fake, to be honest. But that was the spot that you if you were into that and you wanted that flat peak, that was the only place to get them from. Suddenly you go out to Canada, buying all this stuff that I know if I'm buying this, I'm coming back to England. None of my mates have got this.
Yeah.
Not one of them have got this, and that was like a big thing for me. And yeah, where was he even going with this?
Well, what I was talking about was your family, and you know how really if you didn't do fucking something good with the clothing, you'd have been an absolute failure. To be fair.
Very true. Very true.
It'd have been the end of the great dynasty.
Yeah,
really.
I think so. I know.
You know, obviously Monty.
So yeah,
had Monty was before we and I, to be honest, more importantly, only know going on the web and buying clothes, or going to the shops at actual named stores for brands.
Yeah.
Obviously, you educated me on pre.com. You went and got the best brands from these almost boutique market traders. Or the good ones anyway. And obviously, when I think of markets, I just think of like there's a place called Jackie White's Market in Sunderland that like stinks of ham, and you're only gone there to buy either Yu-Gi-Oh cards, fabric, meat,
or discount
like
sweets,
or like slippers. They've got a place for all the slippers and that. Like old people and stuff. But obviously, like you educated me, like no, that wasn't how it was, and especially in the Midlands, which was like at the heart of like fabric, the heart of manufacturing for England. With knit and all that stuff. Didn't really have that north, so it was an education for me. But obviously, your granddad, which Monty, which among the many amazing things he did, let's hone into the fact that, he kind of was the first to really immerse himself in, fashion and, more importantly, selling fashion.
Yeah, completely. I mean, he's a proper character.
Yeah.
He's a proper character, my granddad. And I know that's got him in a lot of places he shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
And it's got him to where he was. Everyone in my town knows Monty Buxton.
Yeah.
Everybody. You can't help. You just know him. You know the name. And the crack was, after he finished working down pit, saved up a load of money, and I can't remember what the first, I think it was tights or something was the first thing he ever bought. And I remember him saying he was buying them, he was putting them in the packets himself, bought them for 10p, and he sold them for £1 or something like that. And he was like, obviously that's wicked margin.
Yeah.
And he was just thinking, fucking hell, I could put all my savings into this. Like tights, dresses, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is a business here.
Yeah.
No more working down pit, grafting your bollocks off, you know, coming home covered in shit every day. You know, this was like, he could see a business building.
Yeah.
He just, literally from that. And I think it was, I can't remember, I'm trying to think, I think he got told about this warehouse that we've got. There's like this little local warehouse thing in Ripley.
Yeah.
And he thought, oh God, I can rent that. I can buy loads of stuff. And I can keep it there. And he bought his first van, right? Guess how much his first van was?
300 quid.
300 quid. His first van was £5. £5, and it's a Monty Buxton something on the side of it.
I've seen the photo.
Yeah, and it's got in the passenger side, it had no floor.
Yeah.
So your feet would hang through. It had rusted.
Flintstones.
It had rusted all. Yeah, fucking Flintstones. It had rusted all the way through. But yeah, that basically lit it. Like from that, he started on the markets, market stalls. Market trading in the Midlands is a massive thing.
Yeah.
In the north, well, in the whole of England, it was huge up until supermarkets really killed it off, and the internet really killed it off.
Yeah.
You know, it was the place to go for all your shopping, fruit and veg. You know, all your groceries, designer stuff. It all started with the markets, and he became so successful because he was really good at, like, when I say he was a character, he was good at, you just wanted to be around him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I know when he tells me stories about back in the day, I was just like, I know I'd want to hang about with him. Do you know what I mean? There's some of them people, a bit like you. It's like you just kind of, some people have got this thing where people just want to be around him, and you can't quite put your finger on why. But he is one of them blokes. But that attitude got him into a lot of doors, a lot of factories where people couldn't really go. But he was buying like luxury.
Well, it's Burberry and stuff like that.
Burberry. What was a brand back in the day? Like Chippy. Like these brands that were big back then. He managed to get Ralph Lauren, Fred Perry. He was buying them direct, selling them on market.
Yeah.
Mental. Like.
But it's mental until you think, like, you know, what we get up to and the kind of opportunities that we seem to like fall on, the doors that open for us that, you know, wouldn't normally open for other people.
Yeah.
Not because the brand's the best brand in the world, or because it's, you know, there's obviously there's something else. There's other reasons for that are quite hard to put your finger on. You know, you look at how Monty was able to get those fucking, like, you know, top brands. It's like, you know, how do we get to work with these factories we're working with? Like, we usually have minimums of like 1,000 units per style, and when we're coming in at like 300, 400, and it's like, you know, people like people and nice people. I think we've always maybe overindulged in the client relations, and, you know, like we took a lot of trips to go, you know, see factories and spend time with them, and like, I think that's always been like at the heart of our success, is how much effort we put into relationships with suppliers, customers, you know, and everyone involved. I think, like,
it's funny though, isn't it? Because it wasn't this thing that we've done to be like, oh, this is our tactic.
No,
it's just what felt right, like the right thing to do.
Well, the tactic is obviously something you've got to sit and think about and plot and stuff like that. But we kind of just, you know, go and do it. And like, I think, you know, it's not. You try and people ask you these kind of really introspective questions of, like, you know, how did you get here? What would you tell? You know, what would you tell, like, younger self, or what would you tell, like, people always do, like, oh, I wanted to start my own brand, blah blah blah, and it's like, it's hard to give advice because it's not like we sit down and strategize really what we're doing or how we go on.
Mate,
I've always found it really hard to answer that question because of that.
I completely agree. You know, we've actually.
That question makes me feel awkward.
It makes me feel awkward, and even today on the stuff that we're doing, when you know, it's a lot bigger now. It's pretty big. It's high pressure. I mean, you actually don't sit down and go, right, this is what we're doing. We've never gone like that. It's all just been based on this fucking. Everything's just based on a feeling, isn't it? It is. But that feeling of like putting yourself in the room, going to the factory, sitting down with them, I just think it makes them. It gives them a lot more respect for us because it's so easy to just email. People nowadays don't even ring.
Not if they're emailing you, like.
Well, I don't even email. I'm old school. Come and see me. Come and sit down and see me.
Don't text them either.
You get a reply to a text every once in a while. But yeah, come and see me. Old school business. You know where we are. Come to my shop. But yeah, I just think it does give people. You respect someone a lot more when they've come and they're willing. Especially at the time. I mean, when we first started, you know, we didn't have a pot to piss in.
No. I remember.
We didn't have a thing.
I remember, like, because we used to make loads in the UK, right?
Yeah.
And, like, you know, like, now we use couriers and stuff like that, but, like, before it was just, like, get as much in a fucking zip car as possible and drive back kind of thing. I remember, like...
Do you mean get as much in a smart car and drive as far as you can?
Yeah.
And block out every single window so that all you've got to view is that motorway.
Yeah. I don't know how I used to do that.
Some of
I
the
think
shit
it
we've
might
done,
even be
man.
like highly illegal, but like
It might be.
I remember like for months on end just driving to Leicester and back or Birmingham and back, you know, picking loads of product up, and it was literally like it felt almost like market trading. You go in there, you're picking it up,
Yeah.
you're tatting it back, and you're selling it because we used to obviously distribute from our like studio warehouse space in Tottenham, and like it's a very. I understand, and also like you know, obviously Shopify is the evolution of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, but it's still a digital, you know, platform, and it's still, you know, a desensitized, like, just very, you know, kind of the future. You know, you look back at like that buzz, what we used to have, don't really have that exact buzz anymore. You know, got extremely happy and like, you know, everything's amazing, but that buzz, you know, people would be like. You probably used to think, why the fuck is he driving up Leicester? Like you know, I remember we did it for like, I did it like loads for months, like 3 or 4 times a week. You must have thought like, why is he doing it?
Well, I did.
It's ridiculous.
No, I did. I actually couldn't get my head around it at the start. I was like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
When we can just get a courier or we can just send it.
Yeah.
But now I totally get it. And I actually thinking back now, you know what it was? Doing that. It was pure job satisfaction.
Yeah. But
And
it was just like
and knowing you, it was because if you're taking it there and you're bringing it back, you're in total control.
Yeah, more importantly.
That is it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. As soon as someone else is doing it, you lose a bit of control. But you physically doing it is like, well, I'm in charge of this. I'm going to make sure I take it door to door. There's one thing I need to pick up. I'm going to go and drive all the way to fucking...
Yeah.
I mean, where's the farthest we've gone?
Well, it's not even. You know, I think like I mean, we've drove when we dropped the first end order off. We drove to fucking Newcastle and back in one hit.
That is very true.
Hand deliver it for some odd reason. It was just, but you know, like those romances are hard to kind of get involved with now because we're just so busy with, you know, just the business is massive now. But like I remember like, you know, just driving up and we'd still get fucked about even when we went there. So God knows if a courier had went. I remember Black Friday.
Oh,
Black Friday 2019, I think it was. Black Friday 2019.
I know what you're going to say with this.
Went live, blah, blah, blah. Sweatpants were late.
Yep.
Fuck. We sold them all. You know, a week later, we're not getting nothing back. So, right, we're just going to drive up. So we just drove up to Leicester, you know. And I said, Cole, get some cash out. Because I think we'll have to give someone a little cashy on the side here.
Yeah.
Get up there, walk in.
Do you know I felt physically sick in that journey on that way up there?
Why?
Because I felt like me and you were too like like you got me to do this job that I like didn't want to do. Like, I didn't know what I was walking in because I'm not confrontational like all am I. So I was like, because you were like, no, we're going to go in there, we're going to tell them we need them. I was like, yeah, but they're just going to say that they can't do it. And then I was like, what, you're going to have to fucking speak up, aren't you, man? I was like, I remember feeling physically sick. So we went for that Wagamama's, right? And I remember sitting there thinking, oh, I can't even eat this, man. I've got no appetite at all.
Literally went in. The sweatpants were fucking undyed. You know, piled bigger than the ceiling. 2 big bins.
Yeah.
I think it was like 250 units or something.
Yeah.
It was a lot at the time.
To give everyone context, the sweatpants had been made. They were at the dye house. The dyeing is the final part of making the sweatpants, right? We weren't getting any communications back. They said they were going to be done at this date. They weren't. A week later, they weren't. Then we just got
weeks and weeks and
silent.
weeks and weeks. And we're like, we weren't taking it serious, really.
No.
We were just thinking they're going to deliver them. So yeah, at that point, obviously, I'm like a bit of a, I'm not as patient as I am these days. And we went up like 2 heavies, like fucking booted the door down, walked in like, and they were fucking there. Some absolute fucking.
Remember, they were on the actual floor.
Yes.
Not even in a thing. They were on the shitty
thing,
floor.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
Some fucking 7 foot fucking. I don't know, like, fucking Lenny, mice and men kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big. Wouldn't want to fight him.
No.
And I'm standing there like
Vaping.
looking up, like standing there looking up, like trying to fucking assert some dominance on this cunt who's like 2 foot taller than me.
Covered in dye.
And I'm like, right, I can't remember how much we give him. It was a lot at the time for us. I remember that, but looking back, it wasn't that much. But
No,
at the time, it was.
At the time, it were like fucking hell.
I swear it was like £1,000 or something.
I think it was 500.
500.
I think it was 500. But that to get that out cash.
Oh no, that at the time
we
we
were
were like, I mean, that drop did 80 grand. That Black Friday drop, 2019, or 120, 800, one or two, around that. So 500 quid at the time was like, you know, a lot of money. I remember like, it was a lot of money. It was like, you know, but we got, it fucking worked.
Well, yeah, no,
You know, they were done like fucking that day, I think.
They were done. That was on the Friday, and they were done for Sunday.
Yeah. So like, you know, I think people don't realise that. Yes, we shouldn't have done that. Yes, we shouldn't have had to do that, but we did it, and the result was that we got what we needed. There's a lot to be said for, you know, just having to take certain actions just to get the job done, which I think, you know, also equally to that, like, that can get you in trouble in terms of where your threshold is on just having to do anything to get the product, you know, out the door, which I think we've learnt from. Like, you know, from the start, it was always for me, like, you know, we just need it. And I remember saying things like, it doesn't matter, whatever it is, cost-wise, just we need it. You know, it needs to be online, it needs to sell, blah, 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 blah. And I think, like...
To be honest, not to throw it off, but that is one of my first memories of you, of just thinking, because no matter what we were doing, no matter what we said we wanted to do, you'd ask me, can we do this? I'd say no. You'd be like, why not? Why not? That was it. The answer to everything. And ask myself why not, and I'm like, I don't actually know why not, to be honest. Why can't we just give it a go?
Yeah.
And if something gone wrong, why? Why? When someone's always asking you why, you ask yourself and you're like, oh, fucking hell, yeah, why has it? Whereas I'm not like that. I'm like, I take it more like, oh, someone says this has happened. I'm like, all right, fuck's sake, that's it, that's done then. But you're like, tell me why that's happened. Tell me why that's happened. Tell me why that's happened. Not good enough. Not good enough. Not happening. And I'm like, that is unbelievable. It is. That it's been such a big factor. Been such a big factor on how we've dealt with every bit of shit that's happened to us. If you ask why, if you ask them why, because you know with a lot of factories and stuff, yeah, they say they're going to be late and you're supposed to go, okay, but no one ever asks why. If you actually put it back onto them why, you can figure it out. Yeah,
you can. And like, I think it's because it's always been a question I've asked myself on, like, you know, when, and it's just the way my brain works. It's like, it's not even why that I like, and like, it's not that I want to know, it's like I need to know to like to get past that thing in my head. Like if a situation happens or if like one thing that I like realize is like, do you know if like it's almost I need to just the way my head works, I need to complete it. So like, you know, if like someone will go, oh, it doesn't matter. Like they'll say they're gonna ask you a question and go, oh, actually it doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, you, like what?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Like I cannot move. My body will not move until you tell me.
Yeah. That is the closure.
And that is a just a holistic thing of my life. Like I can't. I've always had issue with just like, you know, not being able to close and move. It's like, don't know. It's a fucking mental illness.
Yeah.
But
I just remember it vividly.
Yeah.
It's still one of the things that I've learned off you. It's one of the biggest things is that, you know, it's had such an impact. Even when you've asked me to do stuff, you're like, Cole, you got them tech packs? No. Right, why? I'm like, 'cause I fucking forgot to do them. That's why. And then I'm thinking, shit, what an idiot.
yeah.
Fuck's sake, man.
I wrote some like little notes and pointers on like things to ask each other. One of them was I was going to ask you I was going to a question for each other. Obviously, like what you said, like that's one thing you've learned off me. What else have you learned? You know, in the last 5 years, like what else, if there's anything at all?
There is, and it's quite a big thing, and it's kind of if you cast your mind back to when I first met you. I was an anxious geezer.
Yes.
Nervous wreck, almost.
Yeah.
I was. It's just like, even, there's no chance I'd be doing this.
No.
Back then. The CB in fucking 2017 or whatever would not be sat here with 2 cameras. No chance. Even speaking out loud, couldn't do it. Knowing people are listening, and it's not just a conversation. But when I first met you, I was like, you were like a bit of a... You're a bit of a mythical creature. To be honest.
I was never a mythical creature.
I just remember being fascinated, thinking, looking at you, looking at AD and thinking, these boys are living some mad life, these are. Because I'm in my bedroom in Clapham, just moved to London, boxes of hoodies in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Didn't know anybody apart from Nathan, who I moved down with.
Yeah.
I remember looking at you boys and just looking at your Instagram. Because obviously I'd followed you both before this.
Yeah.
Was a fan, as you know.
I don't know.
As you know from the weird messages.
Still.
But like, I was just fascinated thinking, these boys are living some life. Always away. Always like, you were shooting. You was away shooting.
It's funny that though, isn't it? Because you go, until I met you, I'd never found anything in my life that I really, truly cared about other than myself. Like what we started to build together was like, suddenly I had everything, but I had nothing.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I was earning a lot of money that year when you just met me or became aware of me through my photography. I was more lucky than anything that a few of the clients who I brought on just needed shoots all the time. So it was just, I wasn't I was the best photographer in the world. I was lucky. I was in the right place at the right time where the clients that I did have would just work. So, you know, and I was going all over but I remember, like, I didn't have a clue what I was doing with, like, anything. I didn't know where it was going. I was just one shoot at a time. I was buying loads of clothes, was this, that. And I remember when, like, I met you, I was like, you know, we met December 2017.
Yeah.
Went for a coffee.
Yeah.
We sat for, like, hours and hours and hours. And then went home for Christmas, and I was on a shoot in LA from Josh so he could launch his new brand, Yella.
Yeah.
And I was there, and obviously, you know me, I'm like controlling everything, done all the locations and running the whole thing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I started to be aware of how much that was just being wasted. And then Josh, obviously, was probably the first person I met who I respected. Because I'd worked for other clients of people who were a bit younger and so. But Josh, I respected him because I was like, fuck me, like you're doing this clothing thing. You've not had some route to get there.
Yeah.
You're making loads of money.
Yeah.
I'd had some respect for him, and on that trip I was like, that was the first person I ever met in life where I went, I want to be you.
Yeah.
That's the first time it's happened in my life. I was 25 years old or something. I was like, just remember I was like, I want to be you, but I'm me, and I'm great, but I'm me. I'm fucking bag carrying here.
Yeah.
You've got the business card in your hand. You're paying for everything. I want that.
Yeah.
Because you're also the guy making all the money.
Yeah.
And you're the guy who's going to be held accountable for this shoot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just remember and then I was on the flight back, and I always get this feeling when I'm flying, I'm up there, no distractions, like ADHD doesn't even exist up there. I'm just like, fun. And as much as I'm also very, like, focused, I also get a bit just like, fucking, don't know, just a bit fruity with my thoughts, like, you know what I mean? I'm just a bit like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I remember sometimes I get off the flight, yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? You know what I mean? I get off and I'm like, this, that, action. And I'm like, no, it's been fun, like, do this, that. And then I literally get off the flight and I'm like,
read it back and go, what
you
is
cringy cunt, like.
But in that moment you're thinking, yeah, this is
I'm
the way.
the man.
I'm the man. This is the roadmap.
This is it. I am fucking gonna change the game. And then you go, I'm like, fuck me, shut up, man. Fucking hell, like, delete. But like, I was on that flight back from LA and I was like, and it just was, I remember the song I was listening to, and it was like, fuck, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I just met you, so you were fresh in my mind, and I was like, I love Cole, he's got a brand. I thought it was amazing. I thought it needed a lot of work.
Yeah.
I believed in it more than you did at the time. Mm-hmm. Even though I just met you and I hadn't even wore it before, nothing like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't even wear anything because I thought everything just wasn't to my taste. I didn't like any of the brand, but I just saw something. It didn't exist yet, but I saw it. There was bones of it already, but there was you, more importantly, the name. And I just remember getting back, I was like, met for a coffee. I was like, look, youth, sitting across there. I was like, yeah, you show me all these samples, what you've done in Barcelona. And I was like, fucking shite.
Yeah.
Because you just didn't believe in yourself at all. And that's probably the only reason why you let me in. But I was sitting there and I'm like, I want to run this for you. Give me the keys today, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm yours.
Yeah.
I'd already made up my mind. I was going to quit photography, all this. This is a space of like, this is a thing in my head on a plane on the way back from a shoot. Like, this is all, like, from the day meeting you, we were in business like 5 weeks later or something.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, I was looking for something I hadn't found yet in life. I'd thought it was money, and it wasn't money because I had all the money I could have ever, you know what I mean? Like, loads of money, or earning loads of money, spending more than I was earning, just completely like, just, unhinged. And I was like, I want to give it all up. There's nothing you could have offered me at the time other than come join me. But it was the most valuable thing in the world. It was more valuable than gold, at that point. And you were like, for reasons I do not know, you said, yeah, come join me. And I remember, like, we talk about, like, you doing CP company, yeah?
Yeah.
Because, you want a company in it, and it's like, that really plays into, like, you just didn't believe in yourself. You didn't believe your name was cool. Your name's, like, might be top 10 in the world names for a brand ever created. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's really up there. Like, Cole Buxton is like, sorry, but your mom and dad, like, fucking nailed it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
like,
they did a great
my
job.
My mum and dad, like, I love my name and that, but, like, I could have only ever been, like, the best shop fitter in the world or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, Johnny Wilson shop fitters, like, which would have been mint, but, like, it ain't. I ain't going to be the best fashion designer in the world, am I, with a name like that? So it's like, so it was just there, but you didn't believe it. That's why you'd done CB company. And then, like, when I met you, you're like, you just didn't believe in yourself, which I thought was mental, because I met you, the first time I met you, I believed in you. Like, believed in you. I believed in something. Obviously, I couldn't see it, but I believed in it. And then, yeah, I'd never been around, like, none of my friends had ever had anxiety attacks or anxiety or anything. I'd never been around that ever in my life.
Yeah. And
then I met you, and then I was suddenly around this person who, like, suffers with anxiety, has anxiety attacks, and it was like, it was bizarre, because I couldn't be as empathetic, because I was like, it's just, at that point, I'd never had anxiety, I'd never had any kind of any kind of mental issues at that point. I'd never
Yeah.
hit that part of my life yet. So I was like very like, I just didn't get it. And I remember like, like the journey from like there, I mean, there was so many things that, there's thousands of things you do now that you would never have done. I think the biggest thing is though, like, you went from like, you having panic attacks all the time. Like, I remember it just being a thing in like...
It was part of my life.
It was just part of life.
Yeah,
like,
if there was
anything going wrong, which was mostly all the time for us, it was, you were having wobbles and that. And like, and I just couldn't, and now it's annoying really, because I could have been there for you more back then if I was where I am now and I haven't went through stuff a bit more and went through personal stuff. But at the time, I couldn't. Like, I was like, how could that be a thing? I didn't understand it.
And that's funny, because I remember the first time it ever happened to me, I thought I was having a heart attack.
Yeah.
I got Reese to ring the fucking hospital, like ambulance, right?
Which you did a lot back then.
Which I did a lot back then, because I thought I was having an actual heart attack. My heart, I went red hot, I went dead faint, I went blurry vision, all this shit, heart's pounding. It was just a fucking panic attack. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
First time I'd ever experienced it. And I remember my sister having them when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because girls like seem to get them earlier, or my sister did. Do you know what I mean? Like
girls, it's like, but I think they're just aware that it is a panic attack. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like blokes would be like, do you know what I mean? Like
have a day off.
Like or like if a bloke had a panic attack, they just hide from it. I know there's a lot of things you just get on with it. You know what I mean? But with girls, it's like panic attacks. I actually thought it was just a girl thing.
No, I remember my sister having it bad, and I just used to be thinking, fucking shut up. Like, what?
Yeah.
How bad can it be? Like, anxiety. Everyone's got anxiety.
Yeah.
Everyone's worried. Like, that was my mentality.
Yeah.
Until it happened to me.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
Oh.
And then when it started happening to me, she was my lifeline. I'd be ringing her up when it was happening. I'd be like, tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Like, because she'd had them for years, like severe, actually way worse than me. And so I completely get that you had no idea what they were. Because until you experience it yourself, you actually can't sympathise.
But one day
for it
you
properly.
come in with a fucking heart fucking
Not the fucking heart monitor,
heart
man.
monitor on. And I was like, who have I just quit my career for? Yeah.
Fucking RoboCop.
For this cunt? Like, is he taking the piss? Like, what have
It
I
was
done
massive
here?
and all, wasn't it? It was a proper chess piece.
Oh mate, it looked like Star Wars
It
character.
like a Garmin.
It looked like a Star Wars character. Like, it must have been before they fucking managed to, get it down or anything. It was literally fucking plugging on.
Yeah,
Thinking,
it was.
fuck me, this cunt,
Yeah.
man. Like, what have I done here? But like, like, fast forward and like, of course, like, anxiety exists. It exists in my life now. Naturally, because what we do brings the extreme. It's the extreme highs that create it.
Yeah.
Right? It's the extreme highs that when you drop back down,
Yeah.
and then you go through. It's like you're here and there, and we've always spoke about how important it is to just be there, as much as possible. And I think, I'm starting to really see that for myself, being there. Because we did that sale yesterday. Obviously, UV dropped last week. Both things were like record breakers. And I was like, I couldn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Not that I couldn't give a fuck, but I was like, it didn't move the needle for me. I was just like, yep, another day, boom.
It's 100% the way to be, because if you do get too excited, that means you naturally, when things go wrong, you're going to get more worried, more like scared over things. When you just go, end of the day, it's just fucking closed. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like, that is the way to deal with it.
And
innit?
also, you like, when you go there now, you know what there's like.
Yeah.
So you're like, it will pass.
Yeah.
I watched a video about someone who said this the other day. It was like, the amazing times will pass.
Yeah.
The bad times will pass. So you can't get emotional. You've got to be like, because once you attach yourself emotionally as the highs, that fall is just going back to normal is a fall.
Yeah,
I remember when we used to do drops. It was probably my first time in my life I'd felt any kind of mental health struggles, was when we did a drop. This was literally like in the first and second and probably third year. We'd do a drop. It'd go well. The next day, for like 3 days, I'd just be like, what the fuck do I do now? Like, I just remember just being like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
it was such a big thing. I was in this place where I was like, what the fuck do I do now? Like, I don't know what to do. Like, you know, and I could never even figure it out. I was like, I had like, it was almost like I was stuck. I had no motivation to go to work because it was obviously, we just had a massive drop in the big build-up. It's like a Saturday and a Sunday and a Monday, and then you're like, you know, the Saturday and the Sunday was horrific.
Yeah.
Sundays are difficult at times anyway. It's a strange day, but the Saturday, and I was like, fuck me, like, whoom, and then you're here, and you were like there yesterday, and now you're there.
Yeah.
And I just remember like that was my first feeling of like, it was more of like a depression than an anxiety, because it was more like a.
You have to liken it to a come down.
Yeah. Yes.
Really?
That's what it was.
Because you're up here, you're going mad, you're having fun, it's mental, it's amazing. Well, it has to come back down.
Yeah.
You know, and that coming back down is it just being a normal day the next day.
Yeah.
But because you were up there, there's such a stark contrast. It's like, and the way I know you now, it's like that just must have been horrendous for you.
Yeah, I used to struggle so bad.
Yeah.
But I could never work. It's only like, it's funny in retrospect. It's like amazing to be like that was why or whatever. I just thought it was just like, I don't know. I never wasn't really thinking introspectively back then. I think like, what is it or whatever. But I just remember it was like looking back, like that was it, and it was such a struggle, and it was horrible because like it was just tough.
Yeah.
And you've been there. That's probably one of the things I'd tell someone going like, you know, and it's personality dependent, because some people don't have to control their excitement because they can remain cool. Like some people are super objective and stuff, but like I'm just a very like a little dog. I'm a very emotional person, very volatile emotionally. So it's like if I was talking to someone who was like me, I'd go look at that, just keep an eye on that excitement.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Some people don't because they're like, you know, some people are amazing at just being really kind of, you know, like that. And like, but I'm not. I'm like, that's one of my huge weaknesses is being emotional and getting emotionally attached to things. And like, if I was to you know, tell my younger self, you know, I'd probably say, you know, don't change it all, because you know, throughout, you know, whether this today was going to be a good day or a bad day, you know, we're here and like we did some amazing things for each other, for ourselves, for our family, more importantly, for our friends. Like, it wouldn't change anything. But like, if there was someone else asked me like, give me some advice, and it was a similar personality, I'd be like, just try and not get excited in the good times.
Yeah.
That'll just look after the bad times.
Yeah.
You know, the bad times will come.
Yeah.
And you know, you've got to be strong enough to get through them. But like the good times, you've got to just be like. I mean,
where do we start?
Let's talk about the drops, man, because it's like, fuck me. Like, I remember.
Can I have a snuzz on camera?
Yeah, I'm not a snuzz, man. We quit smoking. It's just a fucking success story, to be honest.
99% less toxic.
Yeah, there's something in these, but I don't know
You know
what it is
what I
yet. But I remember, like, obviously we start. I mean, there was success from the off. I mean, I remember we sat down, you know, let's go to get to the detail, I guess, at each point. You know, we sit down, we're in Hoxton in Shoreditch, and I'm like, and I think I've got, and I've worked this out on the plane, by the way, and this is one of the things that it actually stuck, and I went, right, so I'd worked this out on the plane, I'd come up with our business plan, our strategy. So I sit down and I'm like, look, I want the keys, I want the Shopify login, I want the Instagram, this is why. So I told you why, and I was like, you know, we need to do this, we need to do that. You know, the site had like 32 SKUs on at the time, didn't it?
Yeah.
And like all of it was shite, which I said at the time, except for the hoodies, which I said were, you know, a spade is a spade when we were talking at the time.
Yeah.
It's spade, that's how we talk, right?
Yeah.
Spade is a spade. You know, it's black, it's black, it's white. There's no, we do not bend, we don't fluff something. You know, it is what it is. So we're going right.
But it's funny though, because I think you're the only person on earth that could have sat down and told me that. Even though I just met you, anybody else would have told me that, this is shit, give me a login, I want to change this.
No one knew how I know you now when I say this all the time, like if I ask you to do something with the business brand, whatever, you kind of look at me and you trust me and you go, okay. If I had anything else, you're like...
The face, not the face.
He's got this face, fuck me, man.
Oh, man.
No. You give me the fit, and you're so stubborn. You're
I
so
know.
stubborn.
I know.
And like it comes out you sometimes, and I just find it hilarious.
Yeah.
Like it's very like it's something that I love about you. But equally, it's like this is the most stubborn guy ever, in so many ways. Yet he's going, come on in, open the door.
Yeah.
And we sit there and I'm like, right, you need to get rid of everything. There's too much on there. It's all shit. It's just about the hoodies. What's called Buxton? And in my head, I'd like Cole Buxton is Cole Buxton hoodies. That's what we said. Like create this, get this product. This is the product we're going to talk about. This is the only product we're going to talk about. Let's build the reason to come to Cole Buxton.
Yeah.
Not any other pitch. So we did, straight into action. How much money you got? So I'm thinking, this cunt's got a brand. He's got 32 SKUs on his site.
Yeah.
I've been working with brands like really closely with Hurrah, but Ash at Hurrah, where I'd just been around like the most bonkers numbers, which I just thought was kind of normal of a successful brand.
Yeah.
Gymshark, bonkers.
Yeah.
Fucking like.
Little did you know.
Bonkers.
Little did you know what
So I'm
I
like,
had.
right, Bing, get the checkbook out. How many hoodies can we order? I'm like, how many hoodies when they're coming? So he's like, probably just get like 40. I was like, per colour?
Nope.
No, like wash black and wash green.
But sorry to interrupt you, but this is why I wanted all this stuff on the website. Honestly, I wanted it to look bigger. I wanted to create this illusion
Yeah, you've always
that it
said
was
that.
this brand.
But it was big enough because the product was, those hoodies were so good.
Yeah.
That like it was big enough.
Yeah.
Your name was big enough. Like again, it goes back to just not having the confidence in it yet. But like for me, I believed in it from the start. Like because I saw it without all the shit stuff. I saw it like maybe in a place that that definitely didn't exist yet. But like I knew that you were big enough. The hoodie was so good that if even today, if we'd only just sold hoodies, would have those hoodies would still be the best hoodies kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was like, they're so good. How many order? 40. All right then.
Exciting.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
And it was like, I mean, how many has you sold the year before?
I think the year before, not even hoodies, across the whole website, I'd had like 39 sales or something like that. Remember, it was 30 something sales.
Yeah.
Sales.
So
period.
I didn't know this obviously when I asked for the keys to the kingdom.
You're walking into an empty kingdom.
So like there was although he opened up the door, he didn't open up the back door and show me under the floorboards. And you know what I mean? I'm like I'm in like thinking here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's spend some money. So like we dropped these hoodies. Obviously I didn't. I rang. I was like, how did it do? He was like, we sold like. I think we sold like most of them was like 35 or 36.
Yeah, there was just
or
like
something.
double XL left or something.
Yeah. You were like, oh yeah. I was like, it's all right. I just remember I was just not amazed because I was like,
You were so used to the other brands that you were working
it was
with
such a
and seeing their
strange
numbers.
transition because I was like, and it
But for
didn't
me,
stop
I'm
anything.
going,
Yeah, you were buzzing.
hell, this is
You
unbelievable.
were fucking buzzing, and I was more so because I was still a photographer at the time. I was happy with we implemented like what you would call now a marketing strategy or whatever. I was just doing what I think we need to do and blah 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 with the shoots and the content and releasing it at a certain time and all that stuff. And it pretty much evolved into how we do it today. But like I was very happy with that. I was very happy with it all. But I remember it was just like fucking hell. There's work to do here. Because like I'm quit my job, so it's that. So then we worked that year and we do a few more releases and blah blah blah. And then I remember like we did like that the end of that year. We did a drop like on the 18th of December or something, and it was like, and we literally it became how we did it for so many years. We got it there at the studio. We shot it.
Yeah.
Edited the photos,
Yep.
launched it like in the space of 4 hours because everything come late and blah blah blah. Launched it and we did like 10 grand and we were like over the moon.
I went for a shisha and
we
celebrated.
went for a
Do you
shisha.
remember?
And then next day we had to pack everything.
Yeah.
And we were like,
we packed it
Yeah.
at the factory.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So as it were coming off the press, straight into the bag.
Yeah, I remember ringing you like, mate, we need to go to the factory and pack. So we went there, and I remember it was like night time, like we're packing it, and then like some of it was wrong, and and it was like
handwriting everybody's address, no label printer.
Yeah.
Like unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It was fucking sick. And then went for a shisha, and then fucking we owed all the money back.
Yeah.
And then next Black Friday, we we had a big, I think it was like 100 and fucking, it was like 80 or 120. did we break 100? I don't think we did.
I don't think we did.
It was like, it might have been 70 grand or
Yeah.
80 grand. But it was like, I remember when White City launched and I went to the toilet, sitting at the toilet, and I'm like, fucking hell, like, this is mental.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, oh no. The first big drop was January 2019, we were...
Me, you, AD.
Yes.
We were in Chateau Mate.
No, but we launched,
Yeah.
So we just did 10 grand, buzzing. And then we launched, it was January the 28th, we launched the track pants, the field pants.
Yes.
And we launched them and we did like 22 grand or something.
Yeah.
And it was like, fucking, here we are,
Yeah,
boys.
yeah.
This is the fucking big time.
Because do you remember we went, right,
Yeah.
we've ordered food, we're going to turn our phones off.
Yeah.
Just to
Because we were like,
so nervous.
Yeah.
Let's just get rid of that anxiety, turn
Yeah.
your phone off and turn it back on after like 15. No, we agreed
Yeah.
we'll turn it back on after an hour.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help it and I just fucking turned it on and had a look and I was like, Johnny, fucking have a look. 12 minutes, look at how much we've
standing
done.
up in Chateau Mate and like
Yeah.
clapping for myself. Like I was like, woo, and like clapping myself and like buzzing. And then we went Chateau Mate, went the strippers after.
Yep.
Mate, we must have spent about like 1,200 quid or something. Like, which at the time was like bonkers money.
Yeah.
But we were like, fucking this. Like at the time, and it took a long time to get there where I started to understand gross, turnover, gross profit, net profit.
We thought that was all in our back pocket.
And I did for many years after that. So we did that on Black Friday, and then I remember it was 2020, and we did, Black Friday comes around again, get the stock in and that, and we were sitting there, and we opened the shop. We were opening the shop the week after, launched the website, and we did like 360 or something,
Yeah.
and it was like, again, I was like, oh my God, this is mental, like,
Yeah.
I'm a fucking millionaire.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we went, right, let's buy some watches. And like, so we didn't just go and buy like normal watches or anything. We went and spent like fucking like basically 50 grand on 2 watches.
Yeah.
Hatton Garden,
Yeah.
fucking on you go.
Yeah.
Like literally, we were waiting for the Black Friday money to come in from Shopify.
Yeah.
Fucking, I remember it plonked in like that. And fucking...
Yeah, because do you remember? I couldn't pay for it.
Yeah,
I'd say to Zane,
yeah.
can you send me the money so I can pay for this? Do you remember?
I remember Zane lent you 25. Oh my God. Went and bought these watches, just not having a clue how much money we didn't have. Like we thought that was like, so much money. And then what we hadn't back then, and it took us a while to work out, or for me to work out the buy-in and, making sure we had stock. And we were just thinking Black Friday. We didn't think about December.
No.
Didn't think about January, didn't
No.
think about February. So it was like...
We didn't think about daily sales.
No.
Like,
no.
That,
we didn't really have them.
No, that wasn't a thing.
We didn't have the money to stock the website. The whole thing why it kept always selling out was purely because we didn't have the money to keep the stock in. So it was almost just a result of, how it was, the reality of just me and you not having the money.
Yeah.
And it was like 360 grand, something, 2 watches. We were going to take a dividend as well.
I know.
And it was like, and then I went, cool, we'll go to New York.
Yeah.
Went to New York. Fucking went to New York and we maxed out the Amex, didn't we?
Yeah.
And like just didn't have. I was unhinged with the spending like after these big drops, and and it's only really been in the last year that I've like started to understand things like. And that was purely just me being an idiot, like just an absolute idiot. And the problem is with you, like you're like, yeah, I'll be an idiot with you.
Yeah.
So then there's 2 idiots.
Yeah, because I'm buzzing. I'm like doing all this shit. Me fucking boss says it's okay. We're away. We're
Honestly,
away.
on you go. And fucking, but it was like, it was so funny the stupid things we did, but I don't regret any of it. I think we've had our best time. We went to New York and then we sat in the hotel lobby and we designed the Crest T-shirt design.
We did.
And then you go, all right, well, if we didn't go to New York, we
Yeah.
wouldn't have designed that Crest T-shirt, and that Crest T-shirt, earned
Yeah.
millions over the years.
100%.
And will go on to make us millions more. And it's like you can't. I think it's very, of course, like you've got to kind of screw the nut at times, which we do, and equally we've not done it at the same time. But like, I think you can't put a price on just getting away, going and just having a laugh. And our funnest times are the times where we've kind of really kind of pushed it a bit on the spend to do something just because we wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like you talk about like, you know, the times where we'd go to Paris, like for PV, and would share a bed in that hotel. When you fucking shaved me head.
I shaved your head dry because I had nothing to shave it with because your shaver had broke. You had half a you had a beanie.
You didn't tell me.
You had a beanie to cover it up.
He didn't tell me that the back of my head was half shaved. I had a beanie. I'm walking around PV like fucking thinking my dog's bollocks. Fuck me.
But do you remember how exciting it felt to be in Paris?
Yeah.
During Fashion Week,
Oh,
and like just putting ourselves there.
It's amazing.
Because that's what, like, leading back to what your conversation was, like, what have I learned from you? It's like, I remember you being this mythical creature and blah, blah, blah. I remember you just, I was like, this fucker knows everybody. I was thinking in my head, like, you know, my circle was me and Nay when I moved to London. Mm-hmm. I remember you seem to know everybody. People on fucking Love Island. This, that, DJs, all this stuff. And I was like, how the hell does he know all these people? And it's because one of your biggest skill sets, shall I say, is like your networking ability, yeah? You used to put yourself in those situations to kind of create opportunity. You used to put yourself in those rooms. And that's what made me do it.
Yeah.
You know, speak about the anxiety stuff. I used to look at you and go, how has Johnny built what he's built? It's because he's put himself in them rooms. It's the only way to do it. It literally is the only way to do it. And as we carried on working together, I was thinking, why are we going to fucking Fashion Week?
Yeah.
We're not doing a show. I didn't get it. I just wanted to go to Paris with you, to be honest. I was like, this is going to be sick. But why are we even going to Premier Vision? We can't even order 100 metres.
Yeah.
Minimums are fucking 500.
Yeah.
But it's that feeling of being there. It's just a magic feeling. You feel like there's certain things in fashion that you're supposed to do, yeah?
Yeah.
And that just feels like one of them. It feels like this thing that's just part of it. And you kind of feel like you've got a brand just because you're there. Do you know what I mean?
No, you do. And I also feel there's something said for putting yourself in an environment when you're not ready for when you are ready. It's just second nature.
Yeah,
so like,
100%.
you know, like we went to PV recently, and like, you know, you walk in there and it's just like you understand the situation, you understand how it works. You're walking around, you're there with intent. If we just turned up last time was probably the first time we needed to be there.
Yeah.
Well, we've been like 5 or 6 times before that, prior to that, and every other time we probably haven't need to be there. But we walk in there, and but if we'd walked in there and we'd never been before, we'd be like, fuck me, like, you know, this is intense, blah, blah, blah. That same thing, you know, is an analogy for a lot of things of just like, you know, going there, understanding, learning, getting experienced, you know, before you actually need to be experienced. Like, it's almost just like, you know, what school and uni, if I'd have been, was what it didn't give me, is like giving me an experience of being there at a premature age or whatever.
Yeah.
Just so when it does happen, you know, you're used to it. You've had that on before. Like you know, you get it. And I think like, you know, we did that, you know, from day one, where we just went and done kind of pointless shit just to be there and understand it and get, and you know, so much good's come of that, obviously, and it's quite unquantifiable, you know. But at the same time, it's like, you know, there's just such a need to be there. Yeah. And you know now that if you're not there, well, it's not gonna happen. Yeah. It's, you know, like if you look at COVID, for example, like where everything was, you know, everything was just bubbled up, and you think of how many people we've met now after COVID. Yeah. And how many amazing things have happened from that. Whether it's new people joining the team, whether it's fine, you know, just the last year is like we've met so many amazing people, been to dinner with so many amazing people, done things, because it's, you know, it's back to normal life now. But you realise how that was the biggest issue with COVID. It was suddenly like you weren't meeting anyone, you weren't growing network-wise. Like I think, you know, network was paused for like 2 years, 2 and a bit years. Yeah. And like now it's like boom, like fuck me, like you know, it's amazing just how many wonderful people there are out there who you think like I always get it. They want to work with us, or you know who I am. Like I feel like, you know, real like nah. You know what I mean? I just don't feel worthy. You know what I mean? You go, he knows who we are. Yeah. Like, oh, he fucking buys cool Buxton or like
Yeah.
blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
you're like, you don't believe it.
No.
You don't believe it.
No.
You've like fully just like don't believe it. It's amazing, but yeah, you got to be out there. You got to be mooching about. But I think, you know, Paris will always be like such a romantic place for us in a different way of like, we've just had amazing times there, and we've just had things have happened there that are like, that have defined, you know, when we went out there, and then End were there, then we went and fucking got pissed with them, and then that like, you know, got us, you know, and I was like, I said to Ali, like, obviously we'd had, so what happened was, Mr. Porter emailed us like, oh, do you want to come, like, want to buy cool Buxton? And we were like, fuck me, this is unreal.
Mind blowing.
Went in, and then and ended
Remember going on the tube with samples?
Yeah,
hanging them on the rails.
Hanging them on the rails of the tube. I'll have to get them photos. We thought, like, fuck me, because Mr. Porter is like one of the most prestigious multi-brand e-com sites ever.
Yeah.
You know, amazing. And like, we go, and I'd already spoke to Ali at End, and he'd like, oh, I want it, when you're ready, blah, blah, blah. And then Mr. Porter emailed us, and I remember like, we were in Paris, and I was like, Ali, Mr. Porter put an order in, so, I shook hand like, you can have it first, but Mr. Porter put an order in.
Yeah.
Then we went in, and then they fucking
Didn't even email us
didn't even email us back. Went in this big fucking room, I had Cole Buxton on the TV, I remember taking a photo, like, and then never heard anything back from them.
Yeah.
But all the while, I was like, we were pissed in Paris, like, yeah, Ali, fucking, Mr. Porter put an order in, so, you know, if you want it, now's the time.
Yeah, now's the time. Now or never. Come on.
And then, but that was the same time where, you know, we were in Bowfinger, and obviously, like, we started working together, and naturally, like, with everything I do, I just don't, you know, I tend not to think about the intricacies of contracts or deals or whatever. It's just like, you know, I want to do it, I'm doing it. And obviously, we started working together with, like, there was no, you actually said to me, like, I can't get you any money. I was like, I don't want money, I don't want nothing, boom, let's go. And then I remember, like, we had a conversation where it was like, oh, I said, look, I want to quit photography fully because I've been doing bits and bobs. I was like, there was another brand who wanted me, two big brands who wanted me to work for them exclusively.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I had a feeling it wasn't the right thing. And, you know, we talked about it for weeks. And then one day I come in, I was like, right, mate, I need equity. I didn't have equity at the time. I need equity. I just need something just because I'm about to literally quit like everything I've been working on for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I just need something, just give me anything. And he's like, and you thought I wanted money as well. And I was like, I don't want money. Like, I went, just give me 20%, yeah, and I'm happy. Give me 20%. Obviously at the time we were like working every day and stuff, but then the next 2 years we were inseparable, working every day on Cole Buxton. It was like, and then all the while, like, you know, 2 years in, this is 2020, so we started in January 2018. Like, I've still only got 20% of this company, which I never ever thought about at all. But like, you know, it was like, it was what it was. Like, I always felt like it was me and you, and I always felt like, you know, whatever would happen in the right way, because I just trusted you.
Yeah.
Like, implicitly, like, and every day we gave each other everything to work on Cole Buxton. It was never, I never even thought about that I was only on 20%. It's, you know, and then obviously we get in through the door, and then we're in Paris, and you're like, oh, by the way, like, we're having a fag outside, aren't we?
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah. So, oh, by the way, like, just nonchalant, like, oh, by the way, I've sorted the equity, or like, you've got 50%. And I was like, because we're not like, we've never been like that where it's like these big things and you want to like, you know, like,
no,
gender
it's never
reveal,
been like, you know,
balloons.
You're taking that, well, I need to take that out.
Yeah.
Like, it's never ever been like that, ever.
Yeah, it was just like me and you against the world, like, it still is. It's just like, it's me and you, like, fuck everyone else in the way kind of thing, you know, joining hands. And it was just nonchalant. And he was like, oh, you got 50%. And I remember just being like, oh, yeah, sound, like, just, you know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Cheers for that.
Nice one, yeah. And I was like, I remember just like, went to bed that night and I was like, fucking hell. And it wasn't until maybe a year later that I really thought about how major it was, because me being me, I felt I was irreplaceable, because that's how and that's not me saying that I'm like, that's not, I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I'm saying I work to be irreplaceable. Like, I'm not
100%.
naturally irreplaceable. Like, I haven't got the natural skill set that you have, or the natural magic. Like, I've always had to work 100 times harder than anyone to be irreplaceable, but that's always been the main drive behind me. I've known that, you know, I've never naturally been a high level of anything. Like I've just always had an interest to be as best as I can. Like there's just nothing I'm specially good at in my life, like nothing. But what I am especially good at is being irreplaceable, like being motivated to be irreplaceable. So like it was like, so I just like, you know, I was like, well, yeah, like that's what I deserve.
Yeah.
And that's me being honest. Like I didn't think, as much as, even at the time I was like, well, yeah, I should have 50%. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? But it wasn't until a year later that I really, naturally you mature and you start to like, just, you know, like not soften up, but you just start to understand like things, life and how things work. And you'll also see how greedy, you know, greed and money and things, that usually spoils everything.
100%.
And it was, you know, and a year later, 2 years later, I actually thought about it. And I was like, you know what it is? Like, that's actually like one of the nicest things, you know, you could ever do for someone is to give away half your name. Like, because it's your name. It's not, we didn't make this company up called blah, blah, blah. You know, we went, it's your name, and you give me half your name, and you went, I trust you with half my name, and, you know, there you go. And it was like, it was just a lot deeper for me. And like, I was like, you know, he's given me half his name. He's given me it without, we didn't have to, you know, like these things, you have to, usually it's like, all right, mate, you know, I would have to speak to you. In any other person on this planet, this is how it would have went. I would have had to speak to you, it would have been this thing, and, you know, it might have got there, it might not have, blah, blah, blah.
Which is why I did it on the down low in the background, because I didn't want us to have a conversation of like, right now, you know, we've been working together for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, we agreed 20%, but I'm obviously working exactly the same as you are. We're doing everything together. It's equal. It was just like, as you know, I forget a lot of stuff, right? And I just forgot that the equity was even a thing. Like, I just completely forgot. And then I was on the phone to the accountant at the time, who was like doing all the legal stuff and all the company's house stuff. I remember just thinking, fucking hell, Johnny's only got 20%.
And I didn't even have 20%. I had nothing.
No,
because
even though I'd give you 20%, it weren't even written down.
It wasn't a handshake.
No, it was on a fucking.
Yeah.
There you go, 20%. That's what we've agreed.
And it was 20% of fuck all at the time.
It was 20% of fuck all. But over the years, it's like, you know, you talk about me giving up half of my name. You completely give up your name entirely. Before me, you were Johnny Wilson, the photographer. You was by JW. That's who you was. And as soon as you joined with me, it was like, well, now that doesn't exist. It's Cole Buxton is the name. It's our name.
Which is a strange thing for me because, like, especially at the time, just being younger, like, and more immature, it was like, you know, a lot of ego and blah, blah, blah. But I never thought twice about it. It was like, I did not think twice about giving up my name. And
which is mad.
Which for me is weird, knowing you know me and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, it just shows it was the again, the right thing to do. And, you know, like, it was, I didn't even think twice. I didn't even think, talk, nothing. It was like, you know, it was just, I think, like I said, I was probably like 24 or 25 at the time.
Yeah.
No, I've been I'm 28 now, so I've been 23. So 23 years of my life where I've just been by myself.
Yeah.
You know, like, growing up, like, I just always remember just it being me against the world, because I've never been, me and Harvey, I love him to bits, but we've never had that brotherly relationship. So, like, not I'm my only child, obviously, but, like, I just felt like it was just me, and, like, it was just me, figuring it out and trying to find something. And it wasn't until I found you that I found that something, and I found, like, something that I'd just give up anything for, you know, like, that was just, so for that reason, it was like, whatever, like, I'll give up everything. And, like, I obviously did, like, both in a financial capacity and, you know, but at the same time, it's like, sometimes you just put something to the side to then later on, you know, you do that. I've never lost my name. I am Johnny Wilson.
Yeah.
You know, it's Johnny Wilson and Cole Buxton who own Cole Buxton. It's me who, you know, who answers to, you know, a lot of things, and it's, you know, me who I'm grateful for. But it's only till you know, you can get that back later on in life where you go, you know, you did a good job and people know you for who you are and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, it really doesn't really matter, because all we're going to get judged on at the end of the day is how successful we are, and what we do with that success. So like, whether it's like, you know, getting your dad a van, like that was one of the coolest things.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I've never had a chance to get my dad a van.
Yeah.
And it was like, I felt like I got my dad a van.
Yeah.
I was like, what better way to give your dad a van?
Yeah.
You know, like, it's a proper man thing. You know
Of course
what I mean?
it is, yeah.
You know what I mean? You get your dad a van.
Yeah,
like,
man.
What van we're getting? The biggest
The
fucking
best
baddest
van.
one. With
Fastest
fucking,
van, man.
you know what I
Biggest
mean?
rims
Like,
on it.
It doesn't get better than that. And it was like, you know, fucking, so like, all that matters really is not names, but like the feeling of what, you know, of happiness, what you can give to other people. Like, you know, like I mean, my mum lives a much less stressful life now, and that's enough for me. Like,
that we're very lucky that we're like, you know, we're very aligned on when it's time to do the right thing.
Yeah.
That we're both just like 100%.
It's not a negotiation.
It's not a negotiation.
It's not a tactic thing. It's not a strategic thing. It's like, we do it. But I think it's because it's just never been a thing for us from the start. I think, you know, we will finish how we started. It was like the equity, the money, you know, it was all about us getting somewhere where we don't know what that is, but we know that it's full of good intentions. And like, I think, you know, like, it's of course easier said than done, but then I just go, well, look at the last 5 years, we've done it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, no, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? It's all there. It's archived, you know, it's all archived. So I think we're incredibly lucky, but, you know, there's being lucky and there's actually doing it. And, you know, and like, I think, you know, there's obviously hundreds of things that we did for our families and stuff, but which I can't remember because they're not, you know, you don't remember, you just do it.
You don't make a big thing out of it,
You
you
know,
just do it, and it's like, that's
just
done.
do it, but it's still not enough, you know, and it's still like nothing, because we've not done enough yet, and we've got, you know, much bigger mountains to climb, and bigger successes to reap for those climbs, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's one of them, but I think we've always dealt fairly with each other and with everyone, and probably too fairly at times, and had the piss took out of us, you know, in many different situations, scenarios. But I think, you know, like, it's we've always did the right thing. I think.
Well, I think regardless of what's happened, it's not made us go, well, we'll stop doing it then. We'll stop being the nice people. We'll stop being the generous people. Like, I think that's when that's when the bad person or the bad thing, like, kind of wins. It's when it stops you, when it makes you be somebody else.
Yeah, it's like that Mike Tyson thing, isn't it? I let the devil win.
Yeah, it is. That's
like,
exactly it.
It's like, what was it like? It's like, you know, you can't let something change you, because then they win, you know, and they're then controlling you. They're your master.
Yeah.
And the devil wins. And, you know, I'm not religious, but at the same time, I think there's something to be said for just, you know, for as long as you've not forgive someone, for as long as you've not for as long as you've held a grudge, they're there in your head, you know. So who's really winning there? You know, like, it's
so true.
And I can be so spiteful at times, and you know, it's a passage that's changed my life, to just be like, you know, I've learned that from you, you know, like, I've learned patience from you, like, but I've learned, you know, to just be like, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of things don't bother you, and less things bother me now because of you, where I go,
really?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. Like, you've said it before, you go, what does it matter? And I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But ego and like, and you think, but at the same time, like, I'm here today because of a competition. Like, I'm like, you know, there's people where I'm like, I've always had a chip on my shoulder, you know, so I'm trying to prove someone wrong.
Yeah.
Prove someone I can do it.
Yeah.
I've nothing to prove now to anyone else other than myself and you. Like, whereas before I felt like there's, you know, like, even like, you know, fucking ex-girlfriends, family, you know, even my mum, like, you know, like that. Even my mum, it's probably my mum the most, like, probably my mum the most. Like, I've had a thing that's lived in me, what's probably got spiteful connotations to be like, and I mean that not in a literal way of like, just like something of, I need to prove to you that, you know, that everything I've ever done is the right thing.
Yeah.
And prove to you that I'm a good son. Because I've always been like, I've not been the easiest kid to bring up.
Yeah.
And like, especially my mum's side of the family and that, I've always felt like I've not been taken serious.
Yeah.
Because I'm a photographer and then I'm
Yeah,
starting
yeah.
a clothing brand.
What's he
It's
doing
like,
now?
Do you know what I
What's
mean?
he up
Like,
to now?
oh, he's got any money
Yeah.
again. Or like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I've got amazing support on my mum's side of the family. Like, you know, when I went through the hard times when we started off, when we didn't take any money till 2020. So like, obviously money runs out. All that credit card debt I had, you know, plus family loans and whatever, like they've been there for me, but I've still always had this underlying feeling that they've just not believed in it, you know what I mean? Like they've lent me it out of, because they're a good family, you know what I mean? They've not lent me it because they believe in it. They've not it's not been an investment loan, it's been a rescue loan, rescue capital. They've not believed in it. So I've always felt that, but now I feel like, you know, although we've got way more to do, I do feel like we've got to a place now where I don't need to prove anyone else now. I just need to prove you and prove me that we can do even more. But now I just feel like at a place where, you know, 5 years in, I've took care of that, paid all those bills, everyone's happy, you know, and we've got the store and we're here and we've done this and blah, blah, blah. And I go, and then we've did it again with UVU, you know, like, which is another thing. It's like, you know, because then you think, I know a lot of people who did amazing things have did it with one thing. You know, we've had success with two things now. Although it's early days, we've had success with it already. So it's like, I've got nothing to prove anymore. I've just got to prove everything to myself every day. And like, that's, for me, like a piece of
Do you reckon
place.
there were some key moments along the way that have kind of got you to that place mentally? Like, was it like opening the shop? Or was it these big, do you know what I mean? Like these monumental things where you're like, well, now you can't argue with this. This is set in stone kind of thing.
I think for me, clearing my debt was like huge.
Yeah.
Because it just like overhung for a long time.
Yeah, which it does.
Like,
you know.
it was a lot of money. It was different. It was, you know, there was credit cards, ECJ, family money.
Yeah.
You know, like, there was just a lot of different things that like, I went, oh, no, put it to one side and then went to work with you every day for forever, you know what I mean? But like, it's there, you know, so like, I feel like those things like were that was a major thing, just a personal thing, because again, it's like, it's Cole Buxton at the end of the day, you know, I'm Johnny Wilson, I am what I am with Cole Buxton and I own what I own, but it's like my own successes were just, that was the first challenge for me. And then obviously looking after my mum with the house stuff and that, like, that was, you know,
I get it.
It's like, now it's like, it's almost like I completed, like, when we sorted my mum's mortgage last month, it wasn't that like, I felt like that was a success. Rather than a nice thing to do for my mum, I felt like that was a personal success. Which is like, rightly or wrongly, I don't really give a fuck, but it felt like a personal success of like, right, well, my mum believes in me now. Because even till then, I was like, you know, like, she still, you know, had question marks, whereas now it's like, that's sorted, that's paid off, like, you've got your house now, no bills, blah, blah, blah. It's like,
you can't argue with that.
You can't argue with that, like, you have to believe in it, because I did that, we did that, you know, so that was a nice circle to close, and there was a few other circles, like personal ones, but I feel like I've just been fighting to close circles for 5 years, and I just feel like I've closed all those circles now. And it just feels like the next one now is a business circle of finding a way to just run the business better. To bring the best out of me and you. Which probably isn't something that involves just me and you know. You know, because you think about like writing a book one day, and you know, of course, there's a lot of fun stuff in that, but obviously we're here because we have some idea on what we're doing.
I'd like to think so.
You know what I mean? It's not just like that we're just two fucking funny cunts. Like, you know, we've built obviously like, you know, a multi-million-pound brand that, you know, I think one thing when you grow up, you go like, you know, like millionaire thing. It's like
Yeah.
that's like, you know, when you actually think about it, like fucking cool as fuck.
Yeah.
And we all know, and everyone in business
Well,
knows that you
and
can
especially when you're from where we're from.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
million is such a foreign number. In
Yeah.
London, everyone lives in a £1 million house.
Yeah.
It is what it is, isn't it?
At least.
At least. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where we're from, this million thing, it's like, I don't know anybody who's got
I
a
mean, I
million.
remember when we did our first million.
Yeah.
I was sitting and we were like, oh, we just did $1 million
Yeah.
for the year, you know. And then now you do $1 million a month, and you
Yeah.
go, and you just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I remember that first million we did, and I was like, I remember where I was. It was like, I think it was August 2020. It's like, fuck me, man. Like, it was like £1 million. Like, never thought I'd ever see that amount of money.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't see it, obviously.
No, you don't.
Like, it's there. You know, you made that. Blah blah blah. You know, the danger is that or the reality is, sorry, that, you know, it doesn't really mean much, I guess. And, you know, we all know, like, in business, especially in fashion, like, you can be a millionaire and then you can have nothing.
Yeah.
And, you know, and, like, I think that's obviously one thing that we try to be aware of now is that, like, you know, no one's undefeated in this game. You know, we've been around so many wonderful people now who have had more up and downs than I hope we ever have. And, you know, and some of them have ended up with fucking billions and some of them have ended up with nothing. And, like, that's just life. And that's even more so why, while you have the money, you need to make sure that there's things that live on, that aren't supported by the business, that are just done, paid in cash, boom, that's yours, that's yours, that's yours. And it lives regardless of the success of the business. And that's a very important thing, obviously, for, like, you know, personal assets and personal safety, although we're not very good at that personally, you know, like, you know, we are very much like, you know, the success of the business is more important, but, you know, there is these things you have to do along the way, and, you know, hopefully we'll get a chance to buy a house and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, it is tough, we live in London, it's fucking, it's expensive, but there's been, like, things we've done, like, you know, like, there's some things that we just do, like, and it's like some ideas, and it just becomes like, you know, I mean, designs and stuff like that. There's been some risky ones we've done. I mean, opening the shop, obviously, like, that was like a risk. You know, everyone was telling us, like, you're an idiot, shops are fucked.
Everybody, it was like, I've got to liken it to when I met you, to be honest. I've suddenly met you, known you for 2 minutes, you've got essentially part of my brand,
Keys to the city.
Keys to the city, Instagram login, website like everything I could give you apart from my own bed.
Yeah.
And, like, a lot of people around are going, and rightly so, they're going,
Oh, yeah.
like, you don't even know this kid, like, are you okay? Like,
They call him the Tinder swindler these days.
they call him the Tinder swindler. That's what you were. You're a very good one. And it was it's done me very well.
Yeah.
But it's like that, you know, we're opening a shop during the most uncertain time ever. We'll never experience that again. During COVID. Everyone's
wood.
closing shops. Yeah, touch wood. Thank you. But everyone's closing shops. Businesses are failing. And we've just opened one.
Yeah.
In the middle of
They haven't even collected
London.
rent. Shaftesbury have collected not collected 96% of the rent at this point, and we're fucking taking on it, like, the amount of empty space in Soho, and, you know, and we took it and we smashed it, and it wasn't easy the first year. You know, sales weren't amazing, but we didn't.
And it was a
really
big
care.
shop at the time.
Yeah, it was massive. Now it's too small.
Yeah.
But, like, now we're trying to fucking put a mezzanine in or something.
Yeah.
But, like, you go now try and get someone Soho.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we believed it. There was no. Once we signed, we believed in it.
Yeah,
Because
100%.
that's what we're like. It's like, well, it's signed now, so you either believe in it or it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they call it
100%.
manifestation and that. We just call it fucking committing to it.
Doing it,
the
yeah.
work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's all these fancy words and spiritual bullshit now, and fucking just go and do the work.
Yeah.
And do it every day.
Yeah.
And it'll work.
Yeah.
You know. And you know, we did that, and it's fucking amazing. We spent all our money in COVID on fabric. I remember that.
Yeah.
Obviously, like.
Remember the phone call? I remember the phone call.
You're good with these stuff.
Johnny rings me up. He's like, mate, I've just watched Joe Rogan, yeah? Right? They had an expert on it from Harvard or whatever. Mate, I'm telling you, this COVID thing is coming. It's real. It's real. Because at the time, all it was conspiracy on the telly, wasn't it? They were showing China, people piled up. you know, hadn't hit the UK, you were like, mate, I'm telling you now, it's coming, and we need to be ready. And then do you remember you went, the only thing we can do, is look, if we can make clothes, at least if we can make clothes during COVID, we'll survive. And how we're going to make them, we need the fabric. Because that's the bottleneck. No fabric equals no clothes at all. We knew our factory was staying open. Most of the factories in the UK did stay open.
Yeah.
But if we've got no fabric, we can't do anything.
So how much money we got, big?
So you're like, we need to empty the bank, everything we've got on fabric. I was like, oh shit, yeah, now we do, you're right. Thinking, fucking hell, Christ, conspiracy theorist. But I believed it, man, and I was like, we do, and that's probably one of the best things we've ever done.
Yeah.
One of the highest risk, because
highest risk, yeah.
Beyond that, we would have had zero money. Zero.
Yeah, well, I think we had like 58 grand or something in the bank, and we had like, we owed money out for production at the time and stuff like that. So like, net we probably had 10 grand or something.
Yeah, yeah.
You're taking into consideration our liabilities at the time.
Yeah.
Rang Raj up, Raj, need 50 grand's worth of fabric, Megan.
Yeah.
Send it in.
Literally, that was it.
8 weeks. There we go.
What colour? All one colour.
Yeah.
We're gonna just dye it.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. And that was it. And it was like...
And then it was like, fuck me, the best 6 months ever, sales-wise. It was like, put it on, sell it. Put it on, sell it,
man.
Need more. Okay,
Yeah.
put it on, sell it. It was fucking crazy. It was sick. It was so sick. But yeah, I mean, equally, it could have been fucking, you know, and we'd still got out of it, but they could have fucking, you know, there's been more times than that. More times I can count on fucking 10 hands where we've risked it all, and you know, and
Yeah,
we probably will keep doing that, and that's just, you know, I mean, it's the nature of, you know, bootstrapping a business, you know, with no investment and no money, like, you know, it's how it's a necessity thing, isn't it? So it's
well, the only money you've got is the money that you've made.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
So it's like, it's one of them. But I think I wrote some questions.
Yeah.
I think we've spoke about a lot of them too.
Yeah, I want to say pretty much all my questions have been answered during conversation.
But I guess shut your eyes now.
Yeah.
And talk to me about 5 years' time from now. Mm-hmm. What, you know, not just where we are, but the things that you would have liked to achieve. Because everyone goes, oh, 5 years, what's your plan? And it's like, for me, I think it's a better question to ask what you would like to do and achieve over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
At any point in that 5 years, you know, what would be a success if you look back on 5 years and you look, what are the things that you want to do, you know, personally, not just in a business sense.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think, I mean, even with 5 years, it's a hard one to answer because, you know, our aspirations are that big that, you know, we're aspiring to be like brands and be household names like brands that have been around for 100, 150 years. You know, they've been around forever, and I think you only get to that point once you've survived for such a long time. But 5 years is still a long time, and we've done a lot in 5 years, and we can do a lot in 5 years. And I think, you know, an obvious one for me is clearly another shop. Another shop. I mean, the fact that we've got this shop.
Just one?
Multiple shops. But we've proved now that the business must be pretty good. The brand must be pretty good. The shop's doing amazing, you know, and we've I think we've got a lot to prove to I think there's certain things to get, there's certain things you've got to do to like make sure that you go down in history. Do you know what I mean? And that starts with existing outside of England.
Yeah.
You've got to exist within the world. So, you know, multiple shops, key stores in key cities. Obviously, the dream is Soho, New York. Mm-hmm. That is the dream for the next one.
Yeah.
Very romantic, started in Soho, London. And we actually manifested that before we had it. We was writing Soho, London on pretty much everything when we lived in fucking Tottenham.
Yeah.
We weren't like, what did Soho have to do with us? It didn't. It was a manifestation.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think Soho, London, Soho, New York, how fucking cool is that? New York's obviously probably the hardest city to crack with fashion.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, everyone says, New York, why don't you do LA? I'm like, you crack New York, you crack LA. If you crack LA, you don't crack New York.
Yeah.
It's like you're one of them. It's like, what's the biggest challenge in the world right now for us? You want to open another store, or something's on Manchester, print money.
Yeah.
Glasgow, print money. Newcastle, print money.
Yeah.
Print money, print money, print money. We didn't open the store to print money or make money, or you know what I mean. It's, you know, obviously we've had huge success with that store in London, which is like, you know, give us the confidence to open more stores. But like, the intention was never that. We wanted a store. We were trying to prove to the world that, you know, we were a proper brand.
Yeah.
And like,
we were trying to prove to everybody that we weren't just this flash in the pan Instagram brand that made dyed hoodies.
Yeah.
You know, we had, you know, and opening the store literally does that. It's a bricks and mortar store. You're giving people experience. The way that we designed it was like, you know, you notice all the clothes are high up. We've got marble in there. It's more like a gallery than a shop. Yeah. Because we, you know, people just discovering the brand, you want to blow them away. Yeah. You don't want them to just discover this shop and it just be like, oh, that brand's like that brand. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
But do you not find that London store now, you know, and again, this contradicts what I said earlier, because, you know, you go 1 month to the next and you're something, then you're nothing. But like, I feel like that's completed now.
100%.
Doesn't excite me anymore that I've got a London store. No. Just being honest.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I completely agree.
Yeah, because we deserve it and we should have one, and you should have one, and all these other brands. You know, there's so many brands, like UK brands, big UK brands, you know, like, who should have stores as well, who would thrive with stores. Like, you know, a lot of our kind of competitors and stuff, like, there's so many brands I look at and I'm like, you would do amazing with a store. Like, and you know, and some people just have different intentions, and, you know, and obviously, you know, being digital and lean is great, agile, but, you know, like, we're getting away from what clothing is and what retail was and what, you know, and there's a need for it more than ever after COVID. So I think, you know, like, London store, I'm like, I don't even tell people I got a London store anymore. They used to be like, I've got a store in London, but I'm like, you know, because we should. But like, you know, it's still an achievement, but I'm like, what's next? Yeah. New York's next.
New York has to be next.
It is next. I mean, we're going to open it this year, but I mean, it's quite expensive.
It's very expensive.
We could do it this year, but I think we'll do it next year, innit? And then personally, what other things do you want? You know, you look back 5 years time, what are the things that you'll go, you know? Because I know, because I never ever do this, and I never do this, but I did on the flight to Japan. We went to Japan, and I just started writing down, like, you know, the things that we'd done last year, because the year before was so hard for us, and we had, you know, such a great year last year and a successful year, and we started in such a deficit financially that, like, to even get to the end of the year was a success at all. Yeah. We did some, you know, amazing, wonderful things, and I started writing down some personal things, some business things, you know, meeting certain people. So what are you going to write down in 5 years' time?
You know, this is kind of a personal one because it plays into my character, but it's to do with the business. And it's like my role within Cole Buxton now. If you look at the last 5 years, the pair of us, we've cowboyed it. Mm-hmm. We've done absolutely everything that there is to do in a clothing brand. We've done it together. Yeah. Whether it's packing for wholesale, buying and merchandising, you know, driving, being our own courier, building, painting, making, dyeing. Me doing the patterns. Like, we've literally done it all. Designing, you know, it's every aspect of a business. We've done it, and, like, you know, one kind of, not a worry, but a thing that I've had over me recently is kind of like, am I, you know, there's a lot of pressure on me in terms of, I've got to be bringing out new stuff. I'm on a treadmill that I can't get off. Yeah. We're only going to reach these goals if there's amazing clothes.
It's the weight of the name, right?
It's the weight of the name, you know. Everything, each piece has to be better than the last. Yeah. Otherwise, why are you bringing it out? Yeah. There's got to be innovation. For me, and that is my role, you know. I went to uni, studied design. I am the designer, essentially. Mm-hmm. And kind of, I didn't realise that other brands had multiple designers. Uh-huh. Literally. Like, I just thought that there was, like, creative director, he does everything, everyone else does all the running about. And it was only recently, since we've grown our team, speaking to people like Sarah, people that we've brought in, where they've worked at other brands, much bigger brands, and they've told me how it is. Mm-hmm. And it's just made so much sense to me, you know. The kind of, I really want to get to a place where you and I are only doing the stuff that we are best at. Yeah. And not doing the, you know, you're CEO.
Hopefully not for long.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you are CEO, and you don't love being CEO. You've done an amazing job. You've got us to where you've got us. You've got us out the shit countless times. But I know, and you know, that the magic happens when it's me and you doing what we did at the very start.
Brand and design.
Brand and design.
Yeah.
Literally. That is it.
Yeah.
And that only happens when we bring in more people.
Yeah.
And I had this ego thing where I'm like, well, if I'm not coming up with every design, how is it even called Buxton anymore? Didn't make sense to me. I'm just a name then. And I'm just like, other people are designing, and it ain't my designs. Where I realise it should be, we need multiple designers, every aspect in the business shouldn't just be on one person. They need juniors, seniors, you know, managers, and kind of, that is what I'm most looking forward to over the next 5 years, is growing the team.
Yeah.
Our team right now is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, days in office at the moment are
It's never been
amazing.
better.
It's never been better. You know,
Never been better. Never been happier.
we've got production managers, we've got, you know, seamstresses, pattern makers, PAs, you know, people taking care of marketing.
And it's still a tiny team. I mean, what we've got,
and it's still tiny.
There's like 10 or 12 of us. Like,
Yeah.
still a tiny team. But yeah, I think what we've done is we've tasted what great staff, great team members can provide for us recently. You know, we've
100%.
done we've paid the price for employing the wrong people and you know and stuff like that, and not doing our true due diligence.
Yeah.
You know, on people as
Yeah.
we brought them in.
100%.
And now, you know, last few people who've added the team, you go, fucking hell, like, that's what it is. So that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like before, I'm like, staff is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Now we've got good staff, and
Yeah.
like, that's the challenge.
Yeah.
Finding the good people, the right people, they empower you, they educate you.
Yeah.
There's places they've been that you thought you'd been that you haven't been.
And they make sure that when you and I are in New York,
Yeah.
in Japan, doing the stuff that, you know, essentially creates the clothes,
Yeah.
getting us excited, you know, making us inspired, it's nice to know that the brand is still moving forward.
Yeah, the
when
wheels are
we're-
still turning.
Yeah, the wheels are still
I remember
turning
in
when
Japan,
we're not
I
there.
was like, I struggled, man, because we weren't there. It was only 2 months ago or something, but we could go to Japan now for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Be fine.
Yeah.
And it wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
2 months ago, and then like, I just remember being after a week, I was like, I want to go home.
I know. I remember you saying, and I was in such a conflict, 'cause I thought, oh, you're going to cut it short.
Yeah, I was nearly ready to go
I know,
home.
and I was like, well, I ain't staying if you're not staying.
Yeah.
Like, we're all on holiday together, but I was so exhausted, and I wanted a holiday so bad.
Yeah.
Because we'd had the fucking maddest
Oh,
year
yeah,
ever,
yeah.
the
Crazy.
previous year, that I was like conflicted. I was like trying to get in holiday mode,
Yeah.
but I knew in the back of my mind we're getting back to a pile of work that is this fucking
Yeah.
big, and shit hasn't been cracking on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And kind of. It was a very strange feeling, because it was like almost you couldn't get in full fucking holiday mode.
Nah.
Which sounds mental, but it's like...
It's true though. I was
it
like,
was the
I
reality.
just felt like we weren't earning money while we were away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, you know, and we were.
Yeah, yeah.
but it just felt like wrong. It just didn't. I didn't feel comfortable. And like, whereas like now, like, you know, through, you know, Kieran, GM, the store now, he hadn't started yet. Sarah is now, you know, on production. It's like, you know, soon we will have that space to go and just recharge and get back and go and, you know, like, we've kind of like, that's the goal for me, which is very similar to what you've just said. It's like, in 5 years' time, I'd like to have the freedom where everything's still working exactly how I like it. It's working even better. Yeah. But it doesn't depend on me being in the room. Yeah. Like, on you being in the room, you know.
Because that is inefficient.
It's so inefficient.
If me and you have got to be in the room at all times...
Well, from a personal thing, it's inefficient. It's taxing. Like, it's like, you know, you end up working for you know, we work for Buxton Limited. Yeah. Like, it shouldn't be like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? It should be working for us. And it's like, that's a challenge what I think a lot of business people have. And, you know, we're only 5 years in, so like, we don't have the right to even demand that right now. Yeah. But like, you know, it's like, you know, we will earn the right to demand that and we will be entitled to it. But I think that like...
Because I know that is when the fucking magic happens.
Yes.
As you've already spoke about, you spoke about New York.
Yeah.
What happened in New York? We designed a T-shirt that was iconic for us as a brand. Yeah. Made us a lot of money. Yeah. If we were in London, if we were still in that room in Tottenham, well, it didn't happen. We tried to do it 1,000 times. Yeah. We tried to do it 1,000 times. It wasn't until we went away, had a bit of got inspiration, had a bit of a breather, had a moment that we sat down and we were like, and we did it in like fucking 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because our heads were clear.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, 100%. Yeah, it's an interesting thing to be, 5 years in, the next 5 years. I feel like we're both we've found peace with where we are at right now, and we are ready for that next chapter. It's interesting that this feeling has happened on 5 years, such a kind of, it's almost cliche in a way, like, but I feel ready on a personal thing, settling down, start to think about family, building your own family, house, blah, 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 it's like, but, still got that kind of tenacity and excitement to be young and naive and to kick down doors when you're not supposed to go through
100%.
them.
I think we're both very lucky that we're very aligned on the fact that
Well, we've both come here together, this place.
We've both come here, but we don't think that we've fucking made it yet.
No.
That is the thing.
We've been around too much people who have made more money than you could ever imagine, and who, so it's like, and before I met you, I was around people who had huge success and didn't protect it and didn't understand, but it's like, I don't think I'll ever think I've made it, because I will forever feel insecure about everything I've ever done.
Yeah.
I don't really think that, like, I only recently felt success for the first time, like a couple of months ago, like, when we've been in it 5 years and we've had, loads of success, but like, but I just feel at peace with what we have done. And I feel like, really, for me, quite young, and we go, like I said earlier, like, the success will be based on what we do beyond the business in the next 5 years for ourselves, our family, and for our friends, the stuff because that all, builds solid foundation for an infinite time of success and being in a good position. I mean, we've both our dads have, had a lot and lost a lot.
Yeah.
And
worked the whole life.
And worked harder than I ever have.
Yeah.
For a little, and you feel almost bad at times.
Yeah.
Because like, we were brought up where, like, at a certain thing and a certain kind of financial kind of bracket or environment, and like, there's some things now where you like, you feel ridiculous for at times. Like, it's like, but I don't know. I think
it's funny though, isn't it? Like, no matter how much hard work we put in, still not half as bad as a day on site.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It literally.
My dad was so tight with me, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a prick. He'd give me like 20 quid to fucking shovel fucking dirt all day.
Yeah.
Make me buy me on lunch.
Yeah.
You were a prick, man. And like,
what lessons did you learn?
You learn that no one gives a fuck about you.
Yeah.
So go and get paid and shut the fuck up. Go on to work, get paid, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
In that order.
Yeah.
Because like, no, and no one's even, you could shovel shit for fucking 2 weeks, yeah, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Did you do that? Everyone's got their own shit. Everyone's doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never it's like, I complain a lot. I vent a lot, but truly I don't believe it. It's just getting rid of it. But I don't believe it. I don't believe that my life's, more difficult than my mum's. Like, thankfully I've got my mum around, and I just go, and that's the benchmark for what true selfless hard work is. Like, I mean, completely. So it's a good cornerstone, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. 5 years. I'd like to be a man. I still don't feel like a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
I don't feel like. I still feel like a boy.
Yeah. I get you.
I'd like to be a man.
But does that feeling ever come?
I hope so, because if I'm 40 and I feel like this...
But I remember being in year 7 and you're looking at year 11s and going, fucking hell, they look like blokes.
Well, I feel like the same way I did when I met you 5 years ago. Like, I don't feel any more mature. Like, although, like, we are, like, you've got, like, we've got a way higher threshold for stress and more responsibilities, more just a better understanding of the world, both emotionally and mentally, as well as, just from an education standpoint. But, like, I still just feel like I'm trying to, I'm just a kid in a way, or a boy. But yeah, 5 years time, I'd like to feel like a man. Like I can speak to someone and give them advice from a place of like maturity. Kids.
Yeah.
I'd like to be married.
I like that.
I'd like for me and Rain and you and Anya to be, married, our own house.
Yeah.
Bought our own house, kids. I'd just like to be like.
No, I get you. Yeah.
Like be set up.
Yeah.
Like
No,
be
completely.
But there's a lot of
But
work to
maybe
do.
that feeling of becoming a man only happens when you do that stuff.
That's what I think.
Maybe work cannot satisfy that.
No, I don't believe so. I've been trying to satisfy myself with work for 10 years. Like it just doesn't. And it was interesting when I met you. I understood a bit more of that now more than ever. Like I understand that. No matter how much work you put in, like that, your work will not be your happiness. It will help to be happy. It will give you tools to be happy.
Yeah.
It'll give you tools to fix certain things and stuff like that. But true happiness is like is the end goal. That work, work's part of that equation to get there. It's not, it's like you need to work. You need to do other things and put that together, and then that's happiness. You cannot get happiness like. At the same time, though, it's a great place to go and bury yourself into when things are not good, when you're not happy with life. It's a great thing to just go attach yourself to, but it's a dangerous thing to stay there for too long. I think, like, I've started to understand how dangerous it is to just be, like, 7 days a week. Like, we've started working a bit less now on weekends, for example. Like, we do take Saturday and Sunday off, which we didn't for, like, 4 years. I feel happier now. Like, I feel like we're happier.
Well, because you get the feeling of, like, if you don't do that, what are you working for? Okay, you make a load of money, but if you're not even having time off to enjoy yourself and do something with it, what's the point?
Mate, even in the 5 years we've been doing it, we've bought 25 grand watches, bought Porsches, bought fucking thing, we've went New York, we've did so much. And none of that made me happy.
Nah.
I'm happy today for other reasons. I'm happy today because I get to sit here with you and have this chill conversation and talk about the last 5 years and talk about the next 5 years. I'm happy because, family, I've did a good, the family have just, we've supported both our families, better relationship with my friends, better relationship with myself. That's what I feel happy about. I do not feel like when I got my new car, I thought like because that was me proving something to my dad that I'm better than him. And I'm not. I get you. But in my head, it was like,
I get you.
I needed to do that in my head to prove to my dad that I'm better than him. And I didn't need him. But once I did that, I realised how ridiculous that was. And then I picked up the phone to my dad and then I rang him. And then I've now got a really good relation. Well, the beginnings of a really good relationship with my dad again now. And I feel way happier about that than I did when I bought the Porsche. Do you know what I mean?
And rightly so. You should feel happier about that.
Yes, exactly. It's just strange how you can an unmentored mind and is like can take you down weird places and like an ego and blah blah blah, and you can just have certain things twisted in your head and you can just chip on your shoulder, grudge, blah blah blah. I genuinely thought that Porsche would, I literally was like, yes, fuck you. Done it. Done it without you. And it's like, I should have went there with me dad to pick it up. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
We should have went together. And 100%. It was like, so it was a very emotional thing in the aftermath of that, which led me to pick up the phone with my dad. And, so it's like, I've learned that, I'm starting to begin to understand or appreciate what happiness hopefully will be one day and what you need to do and what you don't need to do, more importantly, to get there. I think that'll be 5 years for me.
What a great answer. Love that. That's fantastic. Good doing these, isn't it? Good.
It's like, what's that fucking therapy fucking thing what John Hill just done?
Oh, no, it is. But it's funny, isn't it? Because, like, we've spoke about a lot there. We haven't even... There's so much to speak about.
We could
do this
for...
This could be a 2 week long video. Constant on YouTube, live.
There's just so many amazing things that we haven't spoke about, but, like, we will speak about them one day, I guess. But for now, I think I think we talked about the important stuff anyway. You know,
We did.
because all the other stuff's just,
There's a lot of funny shit.
there's a lot of funny shit. There's a lot of not funny shit. But I think fundamentally we got through it.
Yeah.
We're still here.
Yeah.
A lot of people counted us out.
A lot of people.
A lot of people tried to
Take us out.
Take us out. A lot of people will try again and again. But I think, you know, like, there's a reason why we're still here today, man. And it's not because this brand is the best brand in the world or because we sell loads of shit. It's a far deeper meaning than that. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the last 5 years.
Thank you, my friend. Now people can send me real high, come on.
Cut.
That's a wrap.
It's a long thing.
Well, that was super fucking cool, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet that was so cathartic to do that.
You know what? I was so nervous.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't
Yeah.
want me backing around for fucking an hour and a half.
No, I was fine. I was
away.
just getting relaxed. I don't know.
What
But
did
that-
you feel nervous about it?
Don't know. Don't know. Cameras. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is intense.
Boys.
But that was actually like after the first 1 second I was like, no, this is sound.
Yeah.
But like
But you boys are so natural with each other. Like that, like you say, you literally we could just keep going.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice.
Sorry.
Fucking hell.
Mac took ages setting up, man.